So I've only played one show live.
Yeah. Ever or just around here?
Yeah. And
where was that at? Where?
This place called Vinyl, which like shut the fuck down, apparently.
Okay. You killed it.
I did, dude. Yeah, they were like, wow, that was garbage. Shut the doors.
It was so bad.
We don't ever want that guy coming back. We don't want him coming back so bad that we're just going to shut the whole club down.
Podcast and stuff. We just started. Who am I here with today?
STATX.
Is that how you pronounce it?
STATX.
Because I people were asking me, so what are you doing later? I'm like, I'm doing this podcast. I'm like, with who?
STATX.
Like STATX or like
STATX.
STATX. That was now for some reason I was struggling to stay static. I'm like, I bet you he's trying to just say static, and I just couldn't say it.
STATX. Yeah, I get STATX a lot. STATX. I think it was like a band. Or maybe
it was. That is a band. Yeah. STATX. Me, I was thinking of the DC character. He was a big deal because he was like one of the first, not first, but like it was a black kid in a hoodie and he's like had powers and shit. So like it was just rare to see a minority character in the 90s. But yeah, like STATX. No, see, now I'm saying you.
Like, so now you got it.
Yeah, I know. But it was something like that, and he had a name like that, so I think of him a lot.
Gotcha.
But why'd you choose that name? Or not? Don't answer that. I wanted to ask that question, but I'm gonna ask the next question. That's always the answer, and then we can go down.
Always come back to that.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna answer.
Who is STATX?
Who is STATX? Wow.
All right. Yeah. That's it. That's the only intro we always have, and then it can go anywhere. Then we can talk about pancakes and chicken, whatever must be talked about.
Chicken. Man, that's just gonna swing like that right off the bat, huh?
Yeah, man don't do intros. Man finds out. Lets you know what the intro. You tell me what the intro is. I had a week
to think about that.
That's why God made it.
I feel like at this point, there doesn't have to be like a solid forever answer, but at this point, STATX. That's someone who's trying to get out and play live shows, express themselves. Go hard. Yeah.
Porn star style.
Where's that Twitch stream you were showing me? Yeah. Sure.
Why you do it?
Maybe in the future I can elaborate on that more. Why do I do it?
Yeah.
Because it's going to sound so cheesy. I can't stop doing music.
Like the great beat maker Flex Pavilion once said, I won't stop. I can't stop.
Can't stop, dude.
Yeah. Puff Daddy said, I won't stop.
It's kind of I won't stop because I can't stop. I've stopped before, like very briefly, and it finds a way in a weird way. I'll give you an example. Like, what was it, like maybe 99, 2000-ish? I moved from Texas to Washington D.C. and basically had to get rid of whatever I could fit in my car. Like whatever couldn't fit in my car had to go. So it was just pack up whatever you can get in your car. Those are your belongings, whatever is like sacred to you. And the rest had to go. And so there goes instruments, right? Back then I was just a drummer, just playing drums. And drumming was like kind of where everything started musically with me. And so to get rid of a drum set is like,
you was getting rid of one of your
it was a big deal. Yeah. It took forever to get the drum set, so getting rid of it was just I don't know. I will like that happened. Moving forward, that happened. Can't put a drum set in the car, or that's all I would have. So
why did you have to get rid of? Why did you have to drop down the carness?
Why'd I have to what?
Drop down to just the car, whatever's in the car.
It was just I couldn't afford to like move all of my shit 3,000 miles, and it was kind of like get rid of stuff you don't need at the same time.
I'm trying to get to. So why are you trying to move 3,000 miles?
Well, let's step back.
Yeah, man. Just keep doing it.
Was like
Moonwalking.
16 or 17 years old. I hope I'm getting this right. My parents got divorced. Um, my it was a weird situation. Both of my parents left the house. So it was like all of a sudden, um, I'm in my parents' house, but there's no parents. You know, it was me and my sister was still living there.
Mm.
My dad moved out, and then my mom kind of just almost like restarted her entire life. She was working out at this is in Coppers Cove. You know where that's at?
Nah. Is that Texas, I guess?
Yeah, it's about an hour,
I'm
hour and a
from Bronx,
half.
New York originally, so I kind of only know the major cities, and then I'm amazed that
Gotcha.
there's anything else in between
Yeah,
those.
it's a lot of wasteland, man. I've like made that drive. Yeah, it's about an hour north of here.
Okay.
Fort Hood's right next to it.
Okay.
So, yeah, my mom was working on Fort Hood for a long time, like 28 years, I think. She got, I don't know, I'm going to jack up the details of the story because that seems like such a long time ago, but she moved up to Washington, D.C. She got a job up there. I was faced with this decision at some point, like move in with dad or move in with mom. Like, what are you going to do? Or, you know, get your own place and do all that. And I mean, looking back on it, it was kind of like a quick decision had to be made, you know. And I felt like the best decision was to kind of do the same thing, like get the hell out of this small town.
Mm.
And so, yeah, that, you know, turned into like, well, if you're going to do it, you need to like pack your shit up and make it happen. And so, yeah, there goes the drum set to go back to that story.
Damn.
And then to follow up on the story before that about music coming back into my life, got up to, you know, the Washington, D.C. area, kind of got settled in or whatever, found a job. When things started, uh, when things started feeling normal again, um, it was like music was knocking on the door.
Mm.
And so next thing you know, I'm at like a Guitar Center, and I'm like, well, I can't. We were in in a condo, and I was like, I can't bring a drum set in here. You
Even the
know,
electronic ones.
I thought about that.
It's not
That
the same, but it's
shit's
something.
it is something. Yeah, it's not. It wasn't the same, and they also back then weren't as good as they are now.
Mm.
Um, so
There's a few to just we're gonna I love
it'd be all over
tangents.
the place.
Yeah.
Do it.
So some of the Twitch streamers, there's a
Mhm.
few even on that same talent show. I think I'll rewind it. There's a couple of drummers, yo. And you were talking about they are so much better now. There's a drummer. I think he only had like from the camera angle that he had, a couple of camera angles he had, like it looked pretty good, like almost like real drums, like not even like some sometimes they'll just have triggers and stuff. Like it
Mhm.
looked really good. And every time he hits, I think he had it all like colored here so you could see what he's hitting.
Wow.
Yeah, no, and like it's all right there on the stream to watch, So if you are a drummer, you could be all analytical and crap. I know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like all
That's
right,
I'm
that's
like
cool pattern or whatever he's
yeah.
doing. Like not even just hearing it, but literally seeing
That's
it.
like yeah, that's kind of a cool way to learn.
Yeah,
I'm like getting a headache thinking about setting something like that up. Like if you've
you
ever,
start and then build to it. That
that's a good point.
yeah. don't like.
Don't try to go all out at the
Yeah,
beginning.
I've done
Yeah.
that. Sucks. It sucks. And
Yeah.
it's just demoralizing. And then you still keep going. Like so it's
Yeah.
horrible.
Well, it might be easier with an electronic kit, but if you think about like having a camera and miking up a real drum set, and then like,
There's some who do it real too, by the way.
oh yeah,
There
I've
was
seen some
a
stuff on
yeah.
YouTube, and the whole time I'm like not even really paying attention to the drumming. I'm just like, man, you've got to like do all this post work with the video and the mics and mixing it to make it sound awesome. That's for one video. It's a lot, right?
Yeah.
Washington D.C. Go into a Guitar Center at some point, and my plan was I just need something. It kind of doesn't matter what it is. I was thinking like just get an acoustic guitar, something to just kind of get these urges out. Maybe eventually I'll get good guitar or whatever. And yeah, I went to this Guitar Center. It was explained basically the same story to this guy, and who like I didn't even go into the drum area. I was just like straight to like a guitar. It's got to be something I can just
play at
not
home and not bother people.
not piss off the neighbors, man. I've
Yeah.
always hated people like that, and not wanted to be that person.
I was that
Uh,
person for a bit.
Good job, but you've progressed,
Yeah, I'm
so
not that person anymore.
it's cool until you're on the other side of it. You know what I mean? And then you're like,
I've been
yeah,
spoiled. I live with my sister right now. She's in a house, so it's almost impossible. They would have to be so loud. And I
mm,
mean, like the house is like built like to block out noise. It isn't, but like I
yeah.
guess
It's different than an
yeah,
apartment. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, it's hard. Yeah, like when
big
I go
time.
visit my mom, she's in an apartment, and it's like sucks. Like
Yeah.
so you just be hearing shit, you know? Like
Oh, everything. Yeah. People outside and shit, like having arguments.
yeah,
But so yeah, like I went into this guitar center with like full intentions of just like buying a cheap guitar and doing that, and ended up telling this story to this guy in the guitar department, and I don't know how, man. He just like
in the
next thing I
wrong
know, I'm walking
spot.
out with a drum set. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
Oh.
and I'm questioning myself at the same time, but the dude goes into the whole thing about, you can buy these silencing pads, and I'm like, yeah, I get all that, but it's just, you know, I don't know what it was, man, but universe maybe throwing those drums back in my face in a weird
Yeah.
way, but that happened. Ended up getting a drum set, the silencing pads, and continued kind of like doing that in like a not I don't want to say in silence, but you know what I mean, like not doing it for real, but kind of like practicing. I was able to still practice drums and all that stuff, and yeah, that's kind of where that sort of started. I don't even know what question you asked to get on that path, but
I don't know. You were just telling the story. So like, so now you got these drums. How you get to
oh,
Beatland?
okay, we'll get to that in a second. You were
Yeah.
asking about whatever led into music not going away and why are you doing this?
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
can't stop doing it.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
even when I try to stop doing it,
You good. You
it
try to
won't let me.
remember it. Usually we just keep going forward.
Sorry,
No,
sorry.
no, there's
Just
nothing
keep
wrong with that, but
trucking.
this is amazing.
I try to like wrap up the full circle.
Yeah, yeah. Circle never gets wrapped. It's like a
Ever.
crappy Ouroboros. We can never eat our tail, you know?
Mhm. That paints a picture. Um, yeah, I remember the past shit. What was the other thing that you asked though?
No idea. But
So
I mean, but
rewind the
what I
tape.
just said is good stuff too to keep going those ways. Like, how does the drums turn into Beatlandia?
Okay, so the drums turned into being a drummer in bands, which I was kind of doing before I
What
left.
style of music?
Like rock, hard rock. It's one of the
Like
first,
originals or covers?
a little bit of both at the beginning. There was a guy that I went to like junior high with. I think it was like one of the first people I hung out with that was like a musician, And this guy, dude's name was Tobias.
Mm.
He was really into like Smashing Pumpkins back then. This was like probably, I don't know, early '90s or something. Uh, so he would, I say like a little bit of both, because he would always play these like Smashing Pumpkin songs, and like I would play drums to it, and then he would have some original stuff too. But yeah, that was like really early on, just kind of like jamming around sort of stuff, and then um, met other people along the lines that like gradually seemed to be a little more serious about music and like, let's do this, let's be in a band. And so like, yeah, at some point I was actually thinking about, or started having thoughts of like doing music for real and not just messing around with like your friend in their room or whatever. Going into beats, the playing drum stuff was always like hard rock. Sometimes I would just get with someone that would wanted to just play metal. You know what I mean? It was always in that heavier
Doing
realm.
them blast beats?
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, just heavier stuff all around, drumming wise.
Did you really do
And
blast beats?
say what?
Did you really do blast beats?
No, no. Like no, I could play like fast stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
but it was always like I didn't know how to explain these patterns.
Just do
I'm one of
like
those
double
people.
kicks and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I like double bass and all that. Man, some of those people that can do this stuff with it blows my mind. Even like as long as I've been drumming, I'm like, it's like exhausting to watch it. I don't know how they must just do nothing but that all day.
Some point in their life, that's probably what they did. For a
Oh,
lot of the
for
godlike
sure.
people, like that's probably what they did. Like
Yeah.
even though You meet me in this crew. The people that made me want to make music was Dream Theater. So I mean, like,
Yeah.
whether you like them or not, you know the stories. Like, pretty much no life in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
It's just worship
man,
the instrument. That's it. You know.
I'm just like, I'm amazed that you actually brought up a band that I like kind of know. But yeah, like all those guys went to college together, and they're all. I want to say they all have like PhDs in their instrument or something.
They
like
do
that.
in terms of this, but I mean, they dropped out of Berkeley like pretty much a couple of months into it.
Gotcha.
You know, and so they never really finished.
They're like, this is it. We found our crew.
Yeah,
we don't need this.
They did the story of, and it's crazy because their music isn't like the sexy music, so it's even crazier that they did it. But yeah, they pretty much were like, we know what we want to do. We don't need to keep doing this school stuff, anymore. You know, like, even though it's like Berkeley too, right? Like that's like a dream for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go to school for music, that's like one of the ones. So. Yeah. Well, I mean, they made a good move.
It worked out. Yeah, no, it did work out. But you see, like, they have what a lot of us, I don't even mean this in a negative way too, because I can see it in myself. I might be more obsessed than like some other people, because I said this in like, I get this from Kevin Smith. I'm a big Kevin Smith fan, but like, I don't normally do this, but it's only now because I've been putting some of this stuff on my resume where I don't even remember the original point I was trying to make, but like, even me, I do have my own obsession, right? I was gonna say like I whip out my creative dick. I don't always do that, but it's like my creative dick. My creative dick is like I've done probably over 100 podcasts, maybe only like in the 50 to 60 range for this style, what we doing right now.
Yeah.
But I've done like probably close to another 50 in Street Fighter podcasts, and then maybe like a couple of 20 from. I used to just record this for fun for a podcast that wasn't even mine. You know, like, it was just like it was a couple of friends.
Gotcha.
You know,
the Street Fighter thing you're doing with someone else, or that's just you?
Yes, it was someone else, but it was like primarily me. That was live stream too on Twitch at the same time. Wow, like, and then it would just go as an archive for podcasts too.
Oh, I gotcha.
And I would just bring on random people from the city, and we even got to interview famous people. Probably the most famous was a dude in Singapore, who I never put that episode out. I will now, but I never put an episode out.
I'm gonna be
this piece of shit. He ate a sandwich out of Mall while we're doing this interview. So, you know, I felt that was disrespectful, you know? So I mean, so I was like, fuck this guy, dude. I didn't want to put it out.
Leave that one on the hard drive.
Yeah. But it'll come out now, because now I'm just like, throwing it all out there. I don't
just
care.
dump it all, yeah.
But, so I done 100, I done like, again, another 100 of like just live concert recordings and streams, and like probably another 50 of just my music that I've even put out. That's not even the stuff that I haven't put out, you know?
Damn.
That sounds like a lot, but it's just like, first off, I know I'm not even trying. And then second off, I'm not even lying. Compared to like, if I were to time out my day, I'm like, you're not even optimizing yourself. But then I look at people like Dream Theater people, and there's many other who are not Dream Theater, but like, I don't even start making music till I'm like 23 to 4, one of those 20s. But so, I mean, I couldn't even do this what they did, but I could have done it in my own way. But they would go to school, and then like the minute they come to school, they practice guitar till it's time to go to sleep, essentially. You know, it's pretty much 6 hours a day they were doing. Yeah. And it's like, and the same thing, quit that. It's pretty much that type of like mentality, not even to necessarily make it, but to be godlike at those things. Is that's the type of drive. And that's why I was saying, like, I got some type of drive, because you don't just do all this crap, but I don't have that drive, the be godlike drive, because I
like
can't.
Somewhere in between.
I have to do it a lot drive. All right, that's it. Like, or at least I have the I'm gonna do it for my life drive, you know? Yeah. Because I don't even think I have to do it a lot drive, because I feel like, man, there's a lot more people prolific than me. I'm like, I ain't murking it like they. I mean,
you did another one earlier today. Yeah. That's 2 in one day.
It's not enough. It's not.
You need 10 podcasts a day.
Hey, yo, you seen Joe Rogan's output is godlike, you know what I mean?
It's like every single day, or
I don't think he thinks he has a schedule. I think it's just dependent on when he can get them guests, and then he'll just do them, and it's live stream and archive simultaneously. It's like, that's top tier.
Yeah, that dude's got. He has an entire crew though. You know what I mean? You're like,
my guess, he probably has one dude from just watching the show, because he could have one dude easily just switch the multicams and hit record on the audio. Yeah. And he's also probably the research dude at the same time, because he's like, yo, Bob, like, that's not his name, but let's just say Bob.
Jamie.
Yo, Bob,
it's
look
Jamie.
that up. Jamie.
Yeah, pull that up.
Yeah, you know, so that guy can totally, because You know what Safe House is here?
I don't.
They do what I do, but like way more professional looking in terms of the live stream, not the podcasting, but the live concert streaming.
Okay.
And I remember talking to Brainwave like about this, you know, and like, and you know, I was saying, I don't remember why we were talking about it, but then he was like, "Yo, you can't compare yourself to them. You only like one dude," and I was like, "Dude,
Yeah.
if I had their gear, I could do everything they do by myself." You know,
Yeah,
like
you're like a one man.
it's not
band.
that they have more people. It's literally like I just don't have that gear. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I wasn't even saying that bad. I was just like, no, one guy can do that. I just don't have that gear.
Yeah.
Like, and it costs money.
But at the same time, we were kind of talking about this earlier before you started recording about, the gear doesn't necessarily matter.
Oh no.
What's more important than that is like what you're doing, which is just getting out there and doing it,
It don't. But it's only now that I'm feeling that way. And I'm probably only feeling that way because I'm like, all right, like just taking a step back, maybe being slightly disappointed that like, all right, nothing's happened yet. But at the same time, this is both good and bad. But as we keep going every year, more and more people make it off of like simplicity and just with whatever they have, and then they'll upgrade. That guy was just telling you that like, yo, he has 4,000, even though this other guy gets way more views than him. Yeah. That dude started on a phone, but now they've given him a backpack for live streaming that it took me a while, but I ended up dissecting like what's in that backpack. It's a lot of cool shit, but I don't want to go on that tangent. But basically,
the next hour will just be about gear.
Hey, it can be, but he does 720p HD streams now from anywhere. And
with
then
the app, like
with that backpack, like it enables him that instead of just doing it with a phone and it looks like a phone, and usually because it's phone and internet, I still stream like 480p on a phone, but now he's doing 720 HD, like real great quality, like crisp, like looks as good as like whatever your movie is that you might, or TV show, and like just walking around everywhere, but he didn't start off with that, he probably got that for free because he's the shit now. But I mean, I'm not even lying. He probably did get that for free.
Yeah,
he definitely got it for free in the beginning, and I think at this point it's in their best interest to let him keep it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'll like shout them out every once in a while or whatever.
I mean, it's not there's no one to shout out, but I mean, because they made the backpack. I actually talked to the guy who made the backpack. He just literally focuses on IRL streaming. He's called the Gun Run. He's he's cool dude.
You said you weren't going to talk about this, but like,
no, I mean we can't. But I mean,
now I want to know like what's in the backpack? Like it's recording
for minimum. It's depending on where they are and who made the backpack and what. But it's pretty much a bunch of modems. Let's just say 4. That's usually a safe number. If it's in America, it's probably from a certain company that it's annoying. But like if you overpay them, you get unlimited band. You get actual unlimited, not. We're gonna throttle your asses. Unlimited and no throttling. And so you overpaid them, even though they're a third-party company. You're still going through Verizon, AT&T, whatever. But if you pay it through them, for whatever reason, their shit is not unthrottled. And I called up those companies directly, and I'm like, why can't you offer me this plan? And like, I think more than half the time, no one knew what the hell I was talking about. And then the few people that did were like, wow, I'm glad most people don't know about this because we probably wouldn't make as much money as we do. They basically had like no good answers, or like the best answer I ever got was like, the only thing I could think, sir, is that like, this is such a big client that they can just negotiate this deal and get this deal from us, but we can't give it to you. And I was like, that makes no sense. If you give it to me, you would make more money and they wouldn't siphon any of the guys. like,
I'm sure they've got their
bullshit
terrible reasons.
You give one, you have to give it to everyone. That's why, and that would kill infrastructure. So that's not good. But yeah. So anyway, so you have 4 of those modems. At the end of the day, though, the modems are just LTE signals, so pretty much it's the equivalent of that, but it just looks like a Wi-Fi spot. It's just a phone. Yeah. Because they're just LTE modems, so that's why they can travel. But you get 4 of them, and then there's a thing that I always forget the name, but pretty much is a bus sum. So same way like we bus tracks in music, it's summing all 4 or 5 or 6, because that same guy, he actually streamed from the Great Wall of China live, but he had 6 modems there. Cause
I think you told me about that.
So China, you gotta.
So this guy, he's like this backpack. He's like carrying a fucking satellite around on his back.
Essentially, it's just a normal book bag, but he just has modems and this SunBus router thing, whatever. That then it sends it to the satellite, whatever. But essentially, it's just summon all these internets to make one good internet like you have at home.
Gotcha. That's cool.
And
that
that's why you can stream at 720.
That guy's gonna have some like fucked up cancer growing.
I know, right? Even us with these things, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But I mean, yeah, he's gonna have all the back, the whole back. Like, what is this in your spine?
Yeah. Check on that guy in 5 or 10 years.
And there's more and more people. They're giving it to all the like famous people. So if you ever heard of this MTV guy, Andy Minneapolis, you ever heard of him?
I've heard the name. Yeah, couldn't tell you anything about
I've
him.
always heard the name, but I don't know why he's famous. But I think he did something on MTV at some point. I only know him because of Twitch, because he was one of the first celebrities. Just went on Twitch, started doing it, and so obviously he got a backpack because he has a following. He just came with the following, you know.
Yeah.
So he also has a backpack.
Early adapter.
Yeah, and they give it to anybody who's like big enough who goes outside. So
cool.
So I mean, damn. But if you're a nerd, you can also make your own. But it's just there's a guy in Hong Kong who I follow.
See, that's where you fuck around and get the cancer when you make your own shit. You know.
There's a guy, but this is what I was saying. Like, unless that's the thing you like, which I sort of like, but I'm trying to like to back away from that. Because I feel like I was even doing the research on how to do that. And I was like, dude, you ain't got like people watch your shit. Just chill out, you know? So I'm like, just use the phone, all right? But there's a guy like in Hong Kong who he's a real good streamer. He has like a cool car setup and everything. I feel like he might mess with like some of these racing cars things. But he made his own backpack and he was calling it bootleg, but it looked real good. But he only averages like 30 people, you know? And it's just like... It's not his living. At 30 people, it's not his living at all. You know?
Got to start somewhere though.
But I'm just saying, like to have a backpack for 30 people, I'm like,
it's insane.
it's kind of excessive. But
yeah,
at the same time, you know, maybe that's probably like his actual hobby. You know.
Yeah. So. I didn't want to make any assumptions. I mean, if that guy has like a ton of money to do that,
maybe that too.
You know, like no subscribers, but a ton of money to be able to do that. It's not always like the best way to, you know, go about things. Like sometimes starting off shitty. I mean, starting off shitty is probably a better way, right? Like,
I mean, if you don't have the money, but a lot of us sometimes, because I think I've been guilty of it, like we're just like, fuck it, need the camera.
Gotta upgrade.
Yeah, you know.
Same.
I heard Beyonce sing that DirecTV commercial. Gotta upgrade. So it's just stuck in my head, man.
Next thing you know, you're upgrading everything.
That's it, man. I'm playing viral marketing, dude. I'm playing But yeah, man. I don't even know where we was at. But
back cancer.
Oh fuck.
Shit.
All right, let's talk about various forms of back cancer.
Nope. There's no, hell no, dude. Are there various? God.
There probably is.
There's the LTE back cancer.
There's the Verizon. There's the AT&T.
Right.
Yeah, depending on what service you get, is where it goes and shit. Hideous. But.
Drumming to beats. Going back.
Okay, how did you make the transition?
I was always kind of messing around. I won't say always, but like the couple of years before, I really started putting more attention towards like making beats and stuff. I was just like messing around on the computer, you know, making really shitty stuff as one does when they start off. And it was kind of like on the side to the music, the drumming stuff, drumming in bands. And I would just kind of make tracks, put them on the hard drive, forget about them, sort of thing. Did that for a long time, actually, and just maybe I didn't even really necessarily like finish anything. You know, it was just kind of messing around. And yeah, whenever like the last band that I was in ended, I was like, it just kind of hit me like an epiphany. Like I could just do this beat making hip hop thing as like an outlet for my music and not have to worry about any of this other stuff. You know what I mean? Like logistics or like paying for a practice space, trying to get people together, you know?
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. It came out of like left field almost. I don't know why I didn't think about it earlier.
Like it sounds similar to me. Yeah, somewhat in that, like, I think I wanted to play guitar. That was my first instrument. Part of it is like a lot of my people were making beats already in New York. Like, so I kind of had that already, but it was just cool that I could make a whole song by myself and I didn't need a band. So I never even got to play in a band, but I mean, like, that was just really cool. Like, so that was one of the allures in the beat. I can do the whole process and I don't have to worry about people acting stupid or whatever, you know?
Yeah. So. Oh, people still act stupid. But yeah,
but it won't
it wouldn't
affect my
affect
thing.
what you're
It
doing.
won't.
Yeah,
like,
that's cool, man.
yeah, yeah.
So you just like went straight to that. That was like your first
Yeah, because
anything with
I did
music.
like very bad recordings on guitar, like using like the 1/8 inch cable to
Yeah,
go into
gotta
the
use what you
computer.
got, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I didn't
the shit
have
probably
anything
sounded
else.
amazing to you at the beginning. You know,
Oh
like when you
fuck yeah,
first hear it, you're
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
"That's me playing."
And when we got my friend vocals on it, like back in the day, like, and he was in New York, so I was like, this is cool. It's horrible, but I
Yeah,
probably still have that recording somewhere. But
yeah,
then Reason ended up being the first thing I ended up using because my friends were using Reason. I think Reason was pretty popular with a lot of people in the beginning. Eventually, we all ended up transitioning out because they, in the very beginning, they didn't have audio and they never. It's just now just
oh,
getting
yeah,
VST support, and those were two
yeah.
killers. They killed themselves, and that's their fault.
They did,
They thought
yeah,
they could be Apple with the we're closed source, and it don't work like that in music.
yeah. I
So
started off with, well, I guess really I started off with Pro Tools, but that lasted like
that was
a
my.
month maybe, and I was like, this is fucking terrible. Well, I thought it was terrible. As far as just like beat making, there was so much you had to do, at least then with that version of Pro Tools that I used, just to like get a MIDI track going.
Pro
It
Tools
was a
sucks,
it was a
man.
complete headache,
I
man.
started with Pro Tools 7, 6, and 7. 7. So I started with 7, but then at a certain place I ended up going back to 6. It was really dumb.
Yeah.
Started with Pro Tools 7. Oh my gosh. I think with 8 they got slightly better with MIDI, but it still sucked compared to anything else.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It was a pain in the ass.
GarageBand MIDI was real better back then. It was amazing.
Just yeah, it was overcomplicated for like beat making to me anyway, and not to mention like the CPU load for Pro Tools.
Especially back then, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I had a friend who had Reason, and then I eventually switched over to that. You know, didn't like you said, it didn't have all the audio and all that in the beginning. But as far as just like trying to get an idea out of your head onto a computer, it was way faster. And then eventually switched over to Ableton. Yeah.
I think Pro Tools, to me, I can't speak for it today. It just historically has been like a very bad compositional tool. I think it's great for tracking. It's great for recording. It's
if
great
you're like in a legit big studio,
mixing, really great for. You don't even need the studio, but it's just great for those things. It's great for recording, tracking, mixing, mastering, whatever. But I think it's really bad at just creating.
No, I like wholeheartedly agree with you.
It's horrible.
Yeah, I didn't look back after I got Reason, and then once I got Ableton, I didn't look back at Reason. But Reason's actually kind of, from what I haven't used it in the last several versions, but they've kind of like stepped it up, right, with the VSTs.
They caught up. I'm sure it's still nowhere near as free as these other things. Like, bet you back in, I can totally see. If you want to do basic audio stuff, I can totally see it being fine. But I bet you if you want to do like certain hardcore audio things, I bet you it's just still dumb and annoying. But yeah, like they've been like, if I had money like that, I would totally like just love to have it too. You know,
just because
because it's just it's slightly different. It still has these weird keyboards. I think when we all left Reason, to me, the people that sticked with it were like hardcore keyboard people. Like like piano's their main instrument.
Yeah.
Especially if they played analog gear, because essentially it was like a badass analog rig. You know, you turn it around and like flip wires.
Yeah. The first time I saw that, I was like, oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. But I think if piano wasn't your instrument, I think you're like, this is way better. I just use these VSTs. like hit these presets. Yeah, because there's one of my favorite bands ever, like Porcupine Tree. You ever heard of them? They're pianist, however you say that word. Keyboardist. Richard Barberry. Yeah, he's like an old man too. He's like, probably, who knows how old he is now, but I would guess maybe like 50s to 60s back then. And yeah, I would see just Reason right there on stage with him. But he's a keyboardist, so he's just like, it's just probably another like VST. It's probably just a glorified VST to him.
He's running the sounds from it.
And I felt like that for a lot of keyboardists. Like they liked it for that, but everybody else was like, gotta keep it with the times, you know?
Yeah. So. Yeah. I remember buying some of their like, it was like their proprietary plugins, but they didn't call it a plugin. I forget.
Refills?
Refills
was the only thing they had in the day. Well, then later on, they kept adding more stuff.
But it was like, so the refills were like the packs, right?
Yeah.
But then you had instruments. At some point, they opened up like it It was like
that was later. That's probably around 8 and 9. They made their own little store and stuff.
Like a VST store, but I forget what they call those. But
made by some of the real brands too.
Yeah, like emulated stuff. I had a hard time leaving Reason because I had invested so much. You couldn't take those and use them anywhere else. You were just stuck with them in Reason.
Yeah,
which sucked. I get why they did it, but they eventually came around.
I mean, the whole purpose of being all closed was the same reason Apple said the same thing for their thing. Our shit won't crash because we know what we're doing with our shit.
Yeah.
And VSTs are all made by random people around the world, so you're going to get farts in here. And you're just going to get dumb things happening, you know? Which does happen.
Yeah, it does.
Tough. I mean, like we need those things, you know? Like, and, you know, we'll just curse real loud when program crashes and we didn't hit Control S. But other than that, like, we need those things, you know?
Dude, yeah. It sucks when stuff like that happens.
Because it could have been like a hardcore garage band, like advanced thing if they just added audio and VST support like around 3 like and 4.
Yeah, way sooner, dude.
It would have been a lot of kids who like, it probably would have been a battle between Fruity Loops and Reason real easy. Mm-hmm. But they killed themselves.
Yeah. I remember early on, they didn't even have like you couldn't put racks, like 2 racks of shit in Reason. It was just like all on the left side of your computer. There was so much like wasted real estate on your computer. I don't know if you remember. That's like one of the, maybe 1 through 3 were like that. Anyway, it's shitty software.
I feel like I started on 3 or 2. I don't remember, but I just don't remember what you're talking about.
I'll show you sometime.
And then I never dusted off. I didn't come in on Rebirth. I ended up getting it, just to see what it was like. But
dude, for what it is, it's.
Yeah, no, it's
cool. I mean, if you're like,
it's cool for making that type of sound.
Yeah. It like if you want, I don't know. I haven't used it too much to really speak on it, but it seemed to me like the short time that I did use it, it was kind of like a free version of Pro Tools in a way, just the layout of it and all
Rebirth?
that. Oh, Rebirth.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Reaper. Do you know about Reaper?
Oh, yeah. Rebirth. So Reaper, I feel like is starting to get popular now.
Yeah.
It's been around for a long time. To me, maybe I'm just confusing name. Like, does Reaper have the ability to be a tracker?
Reaper?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a full-blown DAW.
No, okay. Does it have the ability to be a tracker? Like, you know what trackers are? Like,
I don't. School me.
It's annoying stuff.
Like, yes, it has that ability.
Because it's just like numbers. It's when you ever see people make music for video games, but primarily maybe in the old days, like Nintendo and Sega.
No.
They used a lot of trackers, so it's like it's just numbers. Like to do everything, you're just using numbers like 0, 6, and 8, and
that makes zero
like
sense.
I'm not on. I don't think I can use the internet on my phone right now because it's on my camera. But like I'll show you a picture before we leave. But like I've never used a tracker, so I can't be like, well, this is what you do. But like,
gotcha.
Usually you just like pick. Just use like a row of 8 digits, almost like you're doing binary code or something, but it goes beyond zeros and ones. But it usually stays between 0 and 9 or something. But like there'd be like a row of 8, and you just adjust that, and now you got a thing. There's a guy called Starfighter Dreams in San Antonio. I filmed him a lot, so it's all over my channel if you want to check it. But he makes music on Game Boy, and it's not a Game Gear, but it looks like one. He makes music on those things, and all the cartridges are just trackers. They're just numbers on stuff, you know? So
wow.
That's what I was saying.
I've never heard of any of
that. In my head, Reaper used to be a tracker many years ago, and I could totally just be confusing it for another thing. But I've seen Reaper in the last few years. I'm like, this just looks like a DAW now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, does it have tracker ability, or was I just like doing it wrong in my head, you know? Like,
yeah, like when you're explaining that, it sounds like coding, like what you're saying.
Yeah,
you know? It sounds way more complicated than.
Yeah, that's why it doesn't appeal to me. I'd rather just hit C. Like you don't just hit C. You have to put C in. You have to.
You got to code C in just to get that one.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
I mean, there's also a thing. BT, you know BT, electronic artist.
No.
It doesn't matter, but he made a track 1 on one of his albums many years ago. He said it took him 6 months to make it because he did it in C sound. And that was programming for music too. And he was like, I just want to do it, but I'll never do that again.
I was going to say, like, does he still do that? It was just that one track was the only one.
It's all like ambient shit too. It's just like, of course it is. Of course it is.
I mean, I'm trying to imagine. It just sounds like it would be really difficult to.
Yeah, the rest of the album was made normal and it was fine. It was that way. And trackers can be not very melodic, but yeah, they're mostly for a lot of people like for that 8-bit and 16 sound and stuff. For a lot of people, you can do more, but a lot of people
Gotcha.
have done it. But yeah, it was a dude from Houston, and he used to use it. I think his name was like Dead, but spelled wrong. He played Day for Night like a year or two ago. I think he played Day for Night the same year Aphex Twin came, and they were like
Nice.
hanging out with each other or something. But yeah, he used to use a track. I feel like he used to work for whatever company that was at some point too. And that's what I'm saying. Like from my head, it was Reaper, but Reaper looks like a DAW now. So I'm like, maybe I was just confusing it. Doesn't look like
Yeah,
a
I mean,
tracker at all. So
I feel like I need to go research all this tracker stuff.
yeah.
But one reason, I mean, it was like over 5, 6 years ago when I first saw it, and I'm pretty sure it was a DAW then. It looked just like, you know, an altered version of Pro Tools or something.
Yeah, when I see it now, there's a guy who does stream on it's called Scene of Action Music, and he's Reaper, and it just looks like another DAW.
Hmm.
And here you can just see these pictures and just like scroll to the left, and it's just those are trackers.
It's fucking complicated, dude.
And I'm sure it's not even that annoying, but yeah, based on how
Like,
we do music,
how you
it's
doing
just
now?
to just see numbers now. It's just like kind of like
visually,
what?
I'd be
Yeah.
completely lost with this. Yeah, dude.
So-
That looks like some back end mainframe shit.
And here's some other ones. Yeah, you just scroll down. But yeah, it's just like stuff like that, and then it's just music happens and shit.
Yeah, dude. Learn something new every day.
I'll check later if that like if Reaper ever was a tracker at some point.
Yeah, I mean, if you're starting off and, you know, just trying to get into it, that's a good way, you know, free 99. It does.
Is Reaper free?
Yeah, it's free.
Really?
I mean, am I on record saying that? Yeah, no, it's all dolls are free. If you find, no, Reaper has a thing where,
I mean, I come from an olden day, so I understand like the piracy stuff is bad.
yeah,
But I think for a lot of people, like especially since and I was talking, who knows how many people. But I was talking. I said this a lot. I feel like the DAW is like gonna be like, if it isn't already, the new guitar, because music's so easy right now. So, but I also know like some people just don't take it seriously. So like some of these things are so expensive. Like I feel like some people just want to get their rocks off, and it's like to have them spend like $600 and never use it again. So I'm like, if they're on Apple, I'm always like, use GarageBand. It's completely free. It's baby Logic at this point because they all own each other now. It didn't used to be the case, but they own Logic now. And it's just like, if you need to graduate, then graduate. But most people are like, oh, I did some stuff. I'm good, and that's it.
Yeah. Or, they spend some time doing it and realize like, oh, this is too much work, or it's not what I wanted, what I thought it was going to be or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole Reaper thing, it's like open source. And like every once in a while when you open it, unless it's changed since I messed with it last, they like ask for a donation or something like that. And if you don't want to, you can just click OK. But I think the full version itself is still pretty cheap. But yeah, free 99.
I'll check that. At this point, like, I don't know. Maybe if my life was all settled, like, I think I wouldn't mind switching DAWs because I don't know if this is a strength, but to some degree, it can be argued that this is a weakness. But I definitely like being different. To the point that like if everybody's here, even if it's things I like, I'm ready to go now. Like even just, like with fan shit, like that guy I was just talking about, who had like more people fans on Twitch who mess with him. I'm like, his is different now. It's not the same. Like it's polished. I gotta
get out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all clean now. It's all professional, and I can see some of the moves because he's a smart dude that he's making to like make this bigger. And I'm like, all right, this ain't what I liked it for anymore. It's just like a business now. And I'm like, I
liked you better when you were shitty. And
yeah, it was not even that he was shitty, but it was like there was a raw feel to it, and now it's like it's gonna become something. And I'm like, that's cool, but it's like what appeals to me with a lot of things, and like that's might be why like I'm my own DIY monster. Like I'm fascinated by the guy who can make things or girl who can make things happen, but I already know a company can make things happen. That's not exciting to me at all.
Well, yeah,
Like,
that's true. If you like someone's just
like,
clearly been like plugged into the system, then yeah,
yeah,
that's
like we can all do that. You know, like
yeah.
I'm a big believer. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. I'm a big believer though that you like. Even I've only heard like a few things from you, yo. It's like, man, but look, man, if I were to give your thing to the right guy, the right mixer, he'd make that shit sound, perfect. You know, it sound good. It just sound probably better than you can do because he just knows what he's doing more.
Yeah.
And then, sound quality doesn't really matter, but now you just give it
Kinda.
No, it doesn't. But like you give it to the right, media outlet or whatever. Like let's say that you get Drake on it or something. I mean, like people gonna mess with it. It might not be his best hit. It might not be his worst hit, but people gonna mess with it.
Yeah.
So it's like all you gotta do is just get like the right branding for a lot. Like that's really the only difference for like a lot of things. Like it's like we don't have the media outlet that other people do.
Yeah.
Like I try not to tell the story anymore as much, but you ever heard of Russ?
I haven't heard of
He's a rapper, right? He's famous for I'll quote him. He's starting to 1% back down from this because he's very arrogant anyway. But I was fascinated with his story because he's a DIY monster, which is rare for like that in the rap world. There's a few of them there, but like they always end up being niche guys. Now that's not to say they're not successful, but like hip hop don't really welcome that. The mainstream, I mean.
Okay.
But he's making himself mainstream because he's just a monster. But he always say produced, mixed, mastered, engineered by Russ. Like everything, like
names on all that shit.
Yeah. So like his first 300 songs pretty much was that all him. He had like 11 albums. He has 11. He had like before his first major label release, he had like 300 songs out. He was like he was a beast.
That's what you got to do though, man. Until like the right people or
he got like a 50-50 deal with Columbia, right? Only because he was already so successful that he didn't really need anybody. He's very anti-label until he got a label, and the only reason is because some people want to like make it, but he doesn't just want to make it. He wants to be like the god, and he was like, he's trying to kill Drake, even though it's his favorite artist. Like he wants to be the Drake, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, he was noticing like, dude, I'm looking at these numbers. I'm getting more plays than so-and-so on the radio, but radio won't play my shit. Like, what is this? This is dumb. Like, aren't I better if I'm doing this? Like, I'm on Billboard. Like, what do you want from me, Yeah. And it's just like, all right, you guys own this. So I guess I got to come over to your side. Because his actual goal, he already made it. He's making a living. But his goal is like, I want to be the thing. And I guess I need you guys' power. So it's just like, even though he's just fine, if you want some of those certain things, he's like, I'm not gonna be nothing without your damn gateways. You know?
He ran into like a brick wall or
and so like, we all have our own little things that whatever reason like we're not making it. But I'm 100% sure if somebody wanted to come here and bless us, like for whatever reason, like we'd be just fine. I ain't saying we're gonna be superstars, but I bet you we'd have our own whatever fan base niche that.
Yeah,
I don't remember what I was complaining about, but I bet you I was passionate about it.
I can tell, man. Yeah. I don't know, like how to elaborate on that. I mean, you just gotta keep pushing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So,
but I don't know. I was just saying, like you said, like once you're in the system, like, and that it guarantees you like success, but like it's totally like it just makes sense. But like when one guy like makes this thing happen, so I still respect the dude. I think he's great. I was just saying like, all right, this probably ain't for me no more. Like that's it. Like
because he made it.
No, because it's just what it's turning into now. Because now he's making the moves so he can get more people now and like more mainstream. Like he never cared about Instagram before. It was just something he had. But now he'll ask people to follow, and like now because I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to. Most of the world still doesn't understand what Twitch is. Like he still walks around telling people he's streaming on YouTube because people know what YouTube is. People don't know what Twitch is. But he's making the numbers better on the other things too. He can have a resume because now he can take it to other people so they can sponsor him because they understand this Instagram. They don't understand this shit yet, even though this is what's giving him money.
Right.
They don't understand. The world hasn't catch up yet. Even though Amazon owns this, they don't understand that. They will one day. It's coming. But I mean, he wants it now.
Yeah. I mean, if he's already like.
And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, like, it's the same thing that, like, Drake is, for a lot of people, especially if we take sales into account, like a number one rapper. But it's like,
Mm-hmm.
how many people from the hood really about this guy?
Yeah.
They'll hear his album because we have to, you know. But it's like, who's out here like repping this guy?
Yeah.
You know, every time now he's in another battle, and it's like, I understand some of these media outlets say he's winning these battles, but it's like, is he though? You know,
Yeah.
who in these streets is like, this guy can rap, you know, like,
Yeah.
and I like Drake, but I'm just saying, like, come on, dude, like, we know what he is, though, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Wasn't
like,
there was like some. I keep seeing shit pop up about like recent beef between him and someone
him and
else.
Pusha T,
Yeah, that's what it is. I keep seeing.
and from I haven't even heard these songs. I'll
Same.
probably hear Pusha T's album. I will probably not allow I don't know. One day I'll allow myself to hear the Drake diss, but it's like, look, I heard the Drake list last time when he did Meek Mill, and it was just like, why? Like, why is this happening? Like, even he made fun of himself, you know? Like, he said you're getting dissed on by, like, a guy who sings, you know? And it's like, you don't even take yourself seriously. like when you're saying that. But, like, that first off, that battle was whack. That was one of the wackest battles. That's what happens when these, like, normal rappers, like, battle. But then, it's just it's like, now it's even hard. Look, I like Drake, but it's even hard to take him serious. He tries to address this, but like, the guy Pusha T, he's saying a bunch of stuff. I don't really know why he's angry at him. I still don't know. But like, one of the things he mentions is like, how does anybody, especially like in true hip hop heads, take this part seriously? We're getting into a culture where we're more starting to ignore it, but fact is, I guess it's kind of on record where, like, all right, maybe this guy wrote for him, you know, on a track or two, you know.
Gotcha.
And it's like, I'm like, that's cool, Drake. Let's assume, first off, you probably make whack diss records. Like, I like you, but you probably make whack. But let's assume maybe you did have a good diss record, you know. Nothing you can say on that track will erase the fact that someone wrote for you, and it's like, so like, how do you even like?
And that goes back to the whole, like, I'm not saying that, like, this, I don't know enough about all that shit to say that he was, like, plugged into the system, but if you're coming from a place where, like, you know, you don't have that fucking good gear, and you're working with the shitty stuff, or you're starting off at the bottom,
you know, it's
not
funny
to be ironic about Drake, but you know what I'm saying? If he was, like, just plugged in, then he's not going to have that kind of, like, street cred or whatever the fuck you want to call it, or be able to battle somebody like that, you know, versus someone who's been doing
picks
that.
and chooses battles too, by the way, man.
Yeah, I just
like,
always figured.
I feel like to battle him, you need to be a certain level of famous.
Probably, and like, I don't know.
No, he said it. He said it because, and there's people who have dissed him where he just ignores them because one,
like,
he'll get murdered.
You don't have enough followers,
and
for me to respond
because it would almost be him, and he even says it in this song. Like he trying to, I guess he ends it. Even though I haven't heard this song, I've read about it. He ends it by invoice billing them because he's making them more famous, you know, and shit like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I feel like I gotta go watch and see what the fuck's going on. Like,
I'll try. I'm gonna hear the other guy's thing because the other guy's thing was literally on an album, and I wanted to hear the album because Kanye West produced all of it.
The Pusha
T, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know if I'm gonna hear the Drake one. I was like, every time I hear diss records from him, it's just not good. That's not what I come to you for.
Yeah. Yeah. It just, I don't know. It's got a little bit of like cheese to it, you know, versus like, have you ever watched like some real battle rapping?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway.
It's just famous people stuff. But I don't even remember what we even talked to about that. But it was just like a lot of that stuff just seemed, I don't know, man. Like, it's always a polished sound. Like, there's like, and there's nothing wrong with polished sound, but it's like that's usually not what I'm after. Like, like things just certain chains when they're corporate and when they're like at a certain level of bigness, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, it's nice to see the 720 streams if we're talking about that guy, but like it was something raw about the other ones, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they had like a good story behind it or whatever.
Yeah, and like now, like, you know, he's doing like things different because he has money, and that's cool, but it's not as maybe spontaneous, you know?
Right.
Or same thing, like, he used to be a big dubstep fan, but then like once Skrillex came, and it's not even his fault. He didn't know he was gonna create a bunch of people to copy him, you know? Like, that's not never the goal, to spawn like a bunch of copycats, you know? But like once he came, like the genre shifted, you know, and then
Mhm.
money became different. And once everybody saw money was there too, then like a bunch of more copycats, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is bigger, right? So it supposedly should be better or something. But I'm like, this ain't what I signed up for, you know?
Yeah.
Like it was a certain type of sound here, but that certain type of sound didn't make money. But this sound does make money.
So everybody shifts
Yeah.
to that. Yeah.
And that's fine, but it's like, look, I don't want to be a part of that. Like
Yeah.
it just this
No, you gotta
sucks.
like be original, you know, and it sounds like so cliche, but if you just do you,
Yeah.
you're gonna naturally be that like unique person, like maybe Skrillex was in that example.
But I was just saying,
Where
I just noticed I always find myself going, to quote Migos, yo,
the
that
opposite
way.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah, the opposite way.
yeah. like
I gotcha.
I'm always just like, I'm not I purposely, even the way I make music or just a lot of things I do, they're always like, maybe it's the wrong choice because maybe it makes things worse or whatever. But I'm just like, I just don't want to be like anything.
Gotcha. As
Stay
long
away.
as you're happy with, you know, what it is that you're
I'm
doing.
usually out because I'm making shit, so I'm
Yeah.
like,
That's all that matters, man. Is
yeah,
that
man.
you're happy with it at the end.
I feel like we got into a lot of me there.
It's all right. Let's talk about you.
Oh.
I'm gonna flip this on you.
Oh shit! It happens every now and then. It happens every now and then. Why'd you join a feedback? If even, how'd you get into that?
Let's see. Let's start off with. It's weird to even hear like, why'd you join that? I don't even know. Am I a member? I don't fucking know. You hang out and
If you just
you're a
make
member.
shit, yeah, that's it. Do
I'm
the
like,
flips or go to all the shows, play
gotcha.
live. Yeah, it's not that.
It's I'm still figuring all that out.
As you show, yeah, you brand new, so a lot of people. I told people like they don't even know who you are. But that's what I'm saying. Is you make yourself more aware. Like
Yeah.
even if you just producing, there's a bunch of silent members who they have a presence who just maybe never show up because they got like lives, you know.
Yeah.
But like I don't know if you've seen like Moses on a motorbike
Mhm.
or
I haven't seen him live, but
I don't
I've
even mean that. I just mean
met
like
him.
just the name. Because
Oh,
most
yeah.
people haven't seen him in person
Oh,
at
yeah.
all. You know what I mean?
He was one of the first people I met, actually.
Oh wow. So, rare encounter.
Is it? I guess
For
so,
me
yeah.
it was. I
feel
only
lucky
met
then.
him like the first time I was hired to stream for them at this store, Shark Week store.
Hmm.
And I met him and I didn't know who he was because him and like
Oh, you didn't know who Moses
because he
on
had
motorbike
like a
was?
lot of symbols. He's always like avatars for all his profile pics. So I don't
Oh,
know what he looked
gotcha.
like or nothing.
He's trying to keep it a mystery, man.
Yeah, like I don't even remember his name because his
Moses,
name's is
dude.
yeah. Is it really? It could
I
be.
don't know. I should
But
know,
yeah, it's
maybe.
Moses on. This is what I'm saying. So it's very like it's not only a shadow figure now he doesn't show up, but like he's a shadow literally because he's playing an avatar the whole time. You know.
Gotcha. I'm going to find out his name and, you know, on a mission.
And there's another guy called Merm who also because he has I think I can't remember if it's a son or daughter, but he has a kid and he just always has a life going on.
Mm-hmm.
So he loves like producing and making the flips. But like after that, it's rare if he'll show up and rare if he'll play live because he just has other priorities, you know.
Yeah.
But like they're
Gotta do what
there
you
too.
gotta do.
So I mean, like some people are just like that, and then there's this other half who just like does a lot more of the live stuff, you know.
Gotcha.
And like so,
I'm going to try to like balance that line like as best as possible between like, you know, all the challenges and stuff and
yeah.
trying to play live with those guys.
I'm
But
this
how
weird dude. I'm probably a part of it, but I was like, it's this New Yorker in me. I'm like, I'm not like I'm an outsider, and like also
they make you a member and you're like, you just
fuck
do a
you
180.
guys. Fuck you.
I'm out of here. It's too mainstream now.
Yeah. But I mean, like, yeah. But I'm just like, I like my role. I'm the weird dude. Just shows up and put cameras and shit in front of people. Like,
No one seems to mind, dude. Like it's cool to have people like that around, you know.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, no. People want media.
Yeah.
I like making shit. So like,
Yeah,
it works
dude.
out.
It's perfect. Seems like a perfect fit. I'm trying to think about.
But I mean,
how
like, did
that
you
all
see it
went
online
down.
first, or did you meet Moses? They told you about it.
No, I'm
first,
pretty
or?
sure. I started following them on Instagram.
Oh really? That stuff does work.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it works. Hashtag some shit. Somebody might follow you.
Damn.
I want to say that's where I first started seeing it somewhere online, dude. Either that or maybe like Facebook or something. And
That's really amazing to me. That damn, that's the first instance is seeing it.
no, it's just the first instance of you hearing about that working.
Yeah,
sure it
yeah.
happens all
No,
the
no.
time.
Well, to me, I just don't. Just for like that one. I don't hear a lot of the local things. Of course it works. I've seen it everywhere, but I mean like in terms of like, yo, how'd you find out about this local event thing, group, whatever, artist? Like, oh, Instagram, like, oh shit. That is rare for me.
Well, so yeah, it definitely whatever the channel was or whatever, it definitely happened online where I was like following something of Feedback Alliance, and then I at some point I saw like a flyer for a show or something like that, and it was just this moment of like, you know, taking this out into the real world. Like, let's meet these people, or like try to at least and say what's up. And so yeah, I went to a show at the Sidewinder.
Okay.
You good?
Yeah. I can only maintain that yoga position for so long.
Stretch out, dude. Yeah. Yeah, I went to this like showcase at the Sidewinder, which I was just kind of hanging out there, watched a couple of sets, and then it was like in between sets where people were just kind of like dispersing, like someone would come back on stage and everybody would come back out, and then like in between switching gear or whatever. I just kind of like stepped outside the venue, and Stavros.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Willis Nillis.
Yeah.
Happened to walk by. This was like, I think up after his set, and I don't know, dude. It was just one of those moments like, hey man, like good shit, and he was like, thanks man, I appreciate that, or whatever the dialogue was. And I guess it was like the next thing that I said, which was like, yeah man, your production was like really clean, just kind of like kept it going a little bit. And for whatever reason, he was like, or that me asking that or saying that, he was just like, so, do you produce or what, and I was like, yeah, I'm like make electronic shit or whatever. And I don't know, like next thing I'm meeting like all these people from He's like, come inside, man. I gotta like introduce you to some people. And
yeah.
It was like the perfect, like for me anyway, like stars aligning where all of a sudden he's like introducing me
community and stuff.
Yeah. He kind of just like brought me in. And I think the next person he introduced me to was Moses on a Motorbike, like the ghost himself. I didn't know I was meeting,
At least for me, but it's because I don't live in this city. So, like, for me, that's the impression I get.
Gotcha.
I mean, I'm sure if you live here and go to all of them, maybe he does show up tomorrow.
Maybe he's everywhere.
Yeah.
But he happened to be there, and met a couple other people. Black Da Vinci.
Yeah.
Damn, I don't know why I'm forgetting the other people.
Brag
Lights, I think, was there, but I don't think I got introduced to her. She might have actually been on stage while this was going on. Either way, I met like several cool people. We all like kind of followed each other. That's another thing that's cool too, is like, he introduced me to a couple of other artists, and next thing you know, like everybody's like, what's your Instagram, Twitter, whatever. And like all of a sudden it's just like you're there.
That's why I keep them as good Rolodexes, but I really I just don't want to use them. I just want to have them there.
You don't have to. That's the good news. You don't have to.
Yeah, and I'm slowly slowing it down finally.
So yeah, that night was just like, this is like the community I've been looking for quite some time, or what's felt like a long time. And like, boom, all of a sudden the doors are just open, you know what I mean? And then from there, I saw like another flyer about that More Cafe thing during South by, and came through, and then like, that's the first time I saw you. They were introducing me to other people, and you were just like going crazy, setting up cameras and shit. And the rest is history, I guess. Right. That's how that started.
You're in the group though, right?
Yeah.
The Facebook group and all that?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's probably the main thing that to keep track of. Because I feel like just like things like what is it called? The flips and stuff? Or the
challenges or whatever, I
feel like they mostly get announced there. They used to be like an email depending on who's running it, but it's all like depending on who's running that, that's whatever style
gotcha.
Right now it seems like he posted there and that's his style.
Yeah,
even if we watched this, get into the habit of the pin post though.
The pin post?
Yeah, like they used to pin the post or the challenge, but like Now, if you want to see it, you gotta scroll down. And sometimes I
You gotta
flood the
work.
market. You know, sometimes I flood them, or a lot of people just post. You know,
Gotcha.
so like the pin post, it would at least be pinned. So like, first thing you see, like, hey, do this flip, you do this
Oh, for
challenge
that month or whatever.
Yeah,
Now you got to go find it. You got to work harder.
yeah, yeah,
Got to filter out those lazy people, you know.
yeah, man. Because that part of it too, that could be part of it
Yeah.
too.
Might not be a bad idea. But
Maybe, maybe.
So yeah, I did like the 30-second challenge. That was the first one.
Okay.
And I don't know, it made it through, so I like can't complain, but I totally dropped the ball on that shit.
Everybody always says that. I swear, same
Yeah.
thing. The two people I did today, man. It's like whose shit stinks the worst? You know,
Yeah.
like, but that's all of us. I do that too. It's just like, why do we do that shit?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
I remember seeing that post, or the original one, I think, but that was like around the time I first joined, and like I didn't really know what was going on. I still don't know everything that's like going on with feedback, you know, like fresh to all that shit. But I remember seeing that post about like the 30-second challenge, and it sounded interesting. Completely forgot about that shit. And then one night, like I started getting all these notifications. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? You know, like I thought something had happened. People are texting me, but it's like all this Feedback Alliance shit blowing up. You know, like people are talking about like the time and all that. And I was like, damn, I realized it was like 10 p.m. or something like that. And the challenge ended at midnight. So I was like, damn. My instant thought was like, there's no way I'm going to like produce something out of, you know, like starting from scratch.
yeah.
That's going to turn out to be decent enough that I want to submit it and then mix it and master it and get it to them. But it ended up happening. Like started like putting some shit together, and then like probably like 10 minutes in, scrap that. I was like, no, that's fucking garbage. And then the second one was like, you know, not every track that comes to you is going to be like a fucking banger or whatever, but the second one was like decent enough to like turn in. And then this next one, which was like a 2-minute challenge, our 2-minute original song, I got on the ball pretty early on that one and like submitted something.
Oh, you did it already?
Like
Damn.
Yeah, earlier this week.
I guess I've done it. I gotta mix it, and we'll see. Like I think they're easier now, because I stopped doing them because they were remixes and I liked it, but I was like, because I do so much shit, I was like, man, dude, I'm not releasing nothing no more because I can't release a remix because I don't own it. I could, and no one probably would care, but I mean, like,
I think there's like,
you know, just play by the legal rules.
Yeah, I think there's services that handle that now, but I haven't looked into it. It seems like too many hurdles to me.
Yeah, it's like, dude, for the level we're at. First off, for the level we're at, like, I mean, we could just put it out, no one would.
That is true. Like, if you're getting sued, then you're probably not doing bad.
First off, more than likely it'll be a cease and desist. So I mean, you still wouldn't probably get nothing again. True. But yeah, still, I just wanted to be put out stuff that's mine.
Just like all original.
Yeah. But now that they're original, I'm like, at least I can like still use this for something.
Yeah.
So I did a 30-second one, but I was like, it's only 30 seconds. But I'm still stubborn. And that, like I told you, the band made me want to make music was Dream Theater. Mm-hmm. I don't do prog music because that requires work. But I mean, like, I didn't do my 6 hours a day, you know, like,
for like 10 years, or more.
But for even that one, I'm like, I know it's only 30 seconds, but like, because I was like, look, first off, that shit's easy. Just 4-bar, like me coming from hip hop, I'm like 4-bar loop, I'm done, you know.
Yeah.
Most music's 4-bar loop anyway, but I'm like 30 seconds, 4-bar loop, you really done.
I had to like do an intro, outro.
Oh, I did that too. I did an intro. There's no outro, but I did an intro, a middle, which was like a beat, and then I did like a drum. It just turned into drum and bass for no reason.
Gotcha. Sometimes that happens.
The prog, like, yeah. But it's just weird hearing it in 30 seconds because it's like way too quick.
Yeah.
And then for this one too, for the 2-minute one, it's just 4 beats instead of just 1 beat every 30 seconds. You know?
So you have one for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was wanting to rap on it too, but I don't know if I'm gonna rap on it because it depends how lazy I feel. But
gotcha.
And I wrote I just wrote. There's no bro. I didn't write with beat in mind, so I don't know if it'll fit or not.
Hmm.
Or smoothly. Things can always fit, but it just depends what I feel like now. Because now taking so long to mix it, I'm like, I might just mix it now. I don't know. We'll see how. Like,
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to.
it might just be beats. Yeah, I
Yeah,
might not be in the mood for it no more anyway. So.
or I mean, if you track vocals on it and then try to mix it. If you've already got to a point where you're happy with the mix, sometimes it's hard to, for me anyway, to like undo that shit to fit vocals in it.
Well, I want to get into this new habit because I've seen too many professionals do it. I used to always mix everything together. That just seems to make sense. And there's a lot of professionals, especially like people who only mix. Like they don't need, like a lot of them seem to do that.
What do you mean only mixed?
Oh, like just mixing engineers. Like they don't even
mix?
make music.
No, yeah, I'm sorry. What do you mean by you mix everything together?
Everything stemmed, all the music stemmed out, right? Like you just made it, and then all the vocals are there too, all in one session. But I see way too many. This is a hip hop thing, though. But I see way too many professional people, top tier, like Dr. Dre himself, these days. And he came from the era, so he's done everything.
Yeah.
But like, just literally just recording vocals to a stem, and I'm like, really? Like you too?
Like the beat's already mixed and stemmed.
Yeah,
That's what you're
and
saying.
I'm like, fuck is going like am I just an idiot? Like
I mean, I guess if the mix is like good enough, you could like, you could cut out room in that stem for a vocal.
and I'm seeing more and more simple shit too, dude. Like Dre just had like literally the same damn mic thing, whatever those things are, like that, but for like
It goes around the mic.
yeah. I always forget what those are called. But little reverb killer or whatever
it's like a little isolation mic thing. Yeah, I got it.
Literally just had that and a microphone on a desk next to like all his gear, and I'm like, I know he got money. I seen that Apple Beats at concert, you know, I'm like,
I mean
and I'm seeing that more and more from a lot of professionals. You're talking about Drake, having access to studios. Of course he does, but I see him and Noah. I think that's his name, 40, whatever his name is. But I see him, they just be like in rooms sometimes with a mic handle and from a chandelier, and I'm like, it don't matter if you know what you're doing.
Matter.
Like so.
There's been some awesome records made in shitty places. Shitty microphones.
A lot of rock like albums in the day too, especially. But yeah, I've just been seeing the one track. I haven't really seen it in genres that aren't hip hop, but I've just been seeing that a lot.
Just like beat.
And that's always been a thing, like at the amateur level, or like rappers would pay people, and you would see that because they would just bring in some beat they bought, so they have no choice. But like,
not trapped.
I've only seen that lately, like a lot lately from professionals too, and I'm like, there must be something to this, right? Because they're doing it.
I guess, yeah.
And they're the ones in charge, So
I wonder if they're just laying down vocals to that beat, and then they're mixing to the stems later on or something.
Maybe, man, but like I'm like, that's a lot of vocals to lay down to just throw it in another session. Like just throw it. Why would you? Especially in like Dre's case, more than likely he probably made that beat or had something to do with making that beat. So
who knows? Who knows? Whatever works though, man.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right, I want to try this myself and just see if this is easier or not. I don't know.
I didn't know you rapped.
I stopped myself from talking about this purposely because I was like, we need to stop. No, not from that part, but what we were talking about. We were talking a lot off the mic before, and I was like, we need to shut up so we can get some of this on camera.
Kind of like the last time we met each other. 45 minutes.
But at the same time, I was like, doesn't matter, because we'll always have something.
Yeah.
But so I started playing music by myself, for a little bit, but I was like, this is fucking stupid. Hitting buttons is dumb. All right. Who the fuck wants to see this shit? Because again, I'm coming from this, in my mind, skill wise, like I'm just a beat guy, right? But like in my mind, I wanted to make music because prog rock, and a lot of people I came up with are jazz people. So I like to pretend I'm a jazz musician, whether I am or not. So like
that shit's tough.
Yeah, so I'm like, this shit is stupid. Because a lot of the people I used to record in the beginning, especially for my stuff, were all jazz musicians. So I got spoiled. Let me tell you something, because no one else is as talented. I was telling them, like, the two girls today who was talking, they were talking about some recording things they were, and I was like, man, I got so spoiled. because she was telling like she's a singer. It's like pure and through. So she doesn't want to be. She loves to be produced, right? And tell her. And I was like, man, me and you would work like. I bet you it'd be horrible in the beginning, because me, I'm like, I hit record. I'm like, do something. You know, I'm like, yeah, I don't got no direction. I'm like, don't suck. That's my direction. Like, I don't want you to suck.
It's very motivational. Like, you're in the studio, don't suck.
And like, I will say stuff like, if it sucks, I'll let you know. But other than that, I'm like, my rules are like, just do whatever the fuck you want.
Do your thing.
Yeah. And most people like freak the fuck out, you know, like from that in the beginning. Later on, they're like cool with it because now they know. But they're just used to being told rules. But yo, I had like these two, the Ramon brothers, yo, and they spoiled the fuck out of me because they were like my session guys in the beginning. I would give them the music in advance. They would never hear it because they're assholes. They just want to live their life but they're just ultra talented people.
And you were recording jazz musicians, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I gotcha. Jazz musicians can do shit like that.
They're murderers. They're killers. They're mercs. They're real mercs. They're real. So they would just show up and like, yo, you heard the song yet? No. And they would hear it just right give me there. The music, yeah, and they would like adapt and they would do some runs and they would fuck up, but they would just get angry and like more motivated to do it better. And pretty much like we would do takes, but they were one take monsters. So like whatever take I was gonna keep was probably just gonna be more than likely the whole take, you know, like from that one take. And later on when they went on to, because they ended up being like people who were going to focus on real life. They still play and they'll always play, but they're just fine playing jazz from other people and having that be like a secondary in life.
What instruments did they play?
One was just the drummer, and the real talented one was like supposedly for school bass, but man, he's badass on guitar as well. And then in high school, like, man, they were like, it was crazy because I only knew them as jazz guys, and they were like a heavy metal out thing. And in high school, I was like, what the fuck is this? Crazy. I was like, yo, let's resurrect that. And I almost, for like a month, I was able to bring it back out of them, and we started recording all their old songs. Yeah. But it just never went nowhere because they don't have the motivation. It was all like kind of spearheaded by me. They kind of discovered that people pay them to play covers, or standards if we want to be all professional for jazz. Yeah, right. And they were like, "This is cool. We're good. We're good.
We're good with just doing this."
And and then the guitar bassist, like, you know, he had the high school sweetheart, so he ended up marrying her, and they're like, he has the kid. So it's like they just went down the real life path, you know, more. And they'll always play and they'll always gig, but like they'll be like hired guns. They'll never be the creatives. And it's crazy too because they bought all this gear, but they just hardly ever happy with that.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like I've done other stuff where, like, going back to how the drums kept coming back, you know, like music kept coming back into my life. Like, I've tried other things and I feel like everything always leads back to like playing live, you know? And like that kind of took a while to figure out, you know? I don't know if that makes any sense, but like sometimes you do the wrong thing or like beat your head against the wall until you're like, oh shit, it's not working.
Yeah.
Let's go over here and try this. Let's beat our head against this.
That's the real reason to do a lot of shit.
Yeah. Till you figure out like what your path is, you know?
That's what I was saying. Like, I haven't done enough because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So like
keep beating your head against the wall, dude.
So,
yeah.
So,
but I mean, you've got to be somewhat passionate about this, and you've done so much.
Oh yeah. I like shit. I like
It's cool, man.
I like it all. It's just like I really would just like some type of calmness of like, all right, where's my money gonna come from? And then because I think lately I've probably been ignoring that. And I'm like, all right, I probably need to fix this more, you know?
Yeah.
So like, and then I can go back to, but I think now I have the discipline to do that. And like, I needed to just take some time off to like, the last job was kind of like horrible place for me. So I was like, I needed.
That's never good.
Yeah, it was horrible. And I didn't understand like what Captain Planet once said, like the power is yours and all that. So I just like stayed trapped there. Yeah. So I've just been taking these past few years and just going off on like creativity. But now I'm like, I think now that I've done it so much, I think I can do both now. And before, you know, it was just A lot of negativity from that job. Like,
Gotcha. That sounds fucking horrible.
it was hard. It was just like, yeah, man. You end up thinking crazy thoughts like, yo, why am I alive? Like, I can't kill myself, but it's like,
Yeah, you
what
start
am I
contemplating
doing?
like, yeah,
Like,
what
what is
contemplating your
this?
existence and
This is all I do.
is this
Or
it?
just wake
Yeah.
up and just do this, and it's like, why
Yeah,
would I
dude.
want to be here? You know, like,
Yeah. If you're having thoughts like that
like,
a lot, it's time to do something about it, for
yeah.
sure. Not kill yourself,
Oh
but
no, for sure, for
something
sure.
positive, different path.
But I'll
That's not
try.
always easy either, but
I'll try to tell this part real quick though. With it.
yeah.
So yeah, I played live stuff, but then I don't really know what came first. But there was 3 things I did in the beginning. Like probably the first thing I ever did was a pool party, and I just showed up. And I'll stop because I'll just keep talking about the pool party. But that beat battles, and then finally the first live gig, like that was really like a gig.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm all shy, like we are in the very beginning. First time you gonna play anything, so like I was like, man, these hitting buttons is cool, dude, but like I really rather have more. So I got a trumpet player with me and a guitarist who now lives here. But and really last second, and it's funny because this would be like my thing for this, but I think we met. He was a friend of mine, but I think I didn't know he was gonna be there. And he was gigging that night. He had his cajon, and he was like, "Why don't you just play with me?" It's like, "All right." And it was probably like a whack night, but like that ended up being like what we do.
Like
Later on, I get a rap. What I do, my bad.
okay.
Yeah.
No, you were playing. You were doing
my
beats?
music, but I have that going on.
Okay.
And then so yeah, fast forward to later, I meet my rapper friend. His name is Tommy Wong. He's a beast, and it's just perfect because he fits. The other trumpet player has perfect pitch, so like he can do it. I can do whatever, and it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? I played things from a homie who is written in. It's funny because now I do a lot of music. Even like my feedback thing is in 432. I don't like using 440 if I remember.
You're one of those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But
I do it more to be different. I don't really have a belief in it,
Yeah.
one sort or other. But I was like,
432. Yeah.
but I'm like, you know what? They're not gonna be 432. So right off the bat, I'm different. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
Do it.
Keep the podcast going. I'm gonna go grab something for you.
Oh yeah. Oh shit! You got physical copies.
That was the first album I did. Look at the. Since you want to go nerding out on 432,
Physical copies and shit.
you can get that online too, by the way, for free. Then the track numbers on the back of that.
So you're using like, so is that to?
I'm just gonna sit here until you figure it all out.
Is that to like let people know like this is what it's in? Are the track numbers like 442? Like would that be like in 442?
I ain't saying shit till you figure it out. No, it's the whole
I know
432.
there's a lot of 432, but then it's like 442. So like that's what I'm saying. Would that be
So
in 442?
the whole thing is like homage to the 432 thing.
Yeah.
So it's just there's nothing but 4s, 3s, and 2s in the track numbers.
Okay.
And there's some other shit that was like what 4 something years ago. There's other 432
Compact
references.
Like,
Yes, compact disc.
I know it has that symbol. That's cool. Signed with BMI.
Yep.
And you LLC'd up.
LLC'd up. That's I was trying to think of the other 432 references in there, but that's another thing I feel like I did completely ass backwards.
What do you mean?
All the like paperwork shit for like a business. I don't know what the fuck, dude.
I thought I was gonna stay here. I was like, God damn it.
You're good.
I
did all of that shit first, which is like backwards, I think, from probably how you should do it. And it also, I feel like it just delayed me getting to the point that I'm at now by a couple of years. Which is like, I'll try to give you a brief example. Like going from bands to making beats. Oh shit, I can just do this on my own. I don't have to worry about anyone else. Well, how do I go about like actually making an album? At some point I like stumbled upon like publishing, and what does that mean? Doing all this research, and then okay, so if I want to do this, I got to have this publishing company. Let me set that shit up. Okay, if I want to put this out, I kind of like need to form a record label or something, right? Like, you don't have to do that shit, by the way.
Yeah.
But that's my thought process was like, damn, I have to have all of this like legit paperwork in place before I put a single song out. Totally not the case, by the way. Um, but yeah, I don't know if it's like OCD, attention to detail shit, or what, where I was just like, I have to have all this shit set up before I can put an album out, right? Isn't that how everyone does it? And I don't have anyone like to get, ironically, feedback from.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just me and the fucking internet, and I'm like trying to figure out how to do shit. So yeah, I set up, like you just noticed, like there's LLC on there. So I set up this record label as an LLC, and then like a publishing company under that umbrella, did all the BMI paperwork and shit. And then it's like, looking back on it, I'm like, I set up like a legit business and had like this bank account and shit. And then I was like, okay, so how do I make beats? You know what I mean? Where I think like most people are like, let me just make fucking music and start putting it out there and grow a fan base, and probably don't even think about like the business side for a long time. And maybe at some point,
I didn't do an LLC, but I just did something like that last year, and I don't.
mhm.
It was so general that it wasn't even meant to be just for music or anything. It was just
Yeah.
for me to just try stuff. But I did go down like learning a lot of the publishing and stuff. Like
Mhm.
that was probably also around last year. But I think it's all after learning way too much and knowing way too much. It's just all a waste of time.
In
like
what sense?
like you just said, right? I guess when you did this, you didn't even know how to make beats yet.
No, that was like me being really fucking sarcastic. But
Okay,
like I was already
but
making beats, and I had like,
You were maybe low tier, I guess, or something. Like, or
yeah,
not as good.
I think I probably had, no, definitely not as good. Like even, yeah.
But
Yeah,
this is what
definitely
I'm
not as
saying.
good.
Like, right? Use Dream Theater again, right? They spend like 6 hours a day just being godlike at their instrument.
Mm-hmm.
We're over here trying to be godlike at. We're not even with the intention, but spending all that time on publishing and stuff. Like, all right, congrats. Like, you know about the law. Like, do you got anything that should be protected that anybody should give a fuck about? Like,
Yeah.
if no one wants to steal your shit, who cares? You know what I mean?
Well, publishing more so, that would be like copyright.
But I just meant all of it.
Yeah.
I just meant all of it, not like.
No, I mean, if you're okay, I'll just
The
give you an
point of
example.
publishing something that no one cares about. Like, what royalty does that incur? Is what I meant. That's what I meant.
I gotcha.
You know what I mean?
I thought, yeah, no, copyright would be about like people stealing your shit.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the point of knowing all this.
Yeah.
If no one cares and your intention is to make it, how does any of that help you? Because you either have nothing or your thing sucks because you're never spending time. Is what I'm saying.
Here's the thing. Like, if you plan on making it to at least some point where you're getting paid royalties, if you don't know that shit, someone else is going to know it.
Absolutely.
And,
and you're not wrong. And maybe you get ripped off for first album, like a lot of people. But then most people learn when it makes sense to learn. And yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think like I learned shit out of order, but I don't regret that. Like, knowing all that stuff. I feel like it's going to save me a headache in the future. But yeah,
you're not wrong. It will. But
yeah,
I think a lot of us make this mistake of learning all these things, and it's like, how about this one? How about solve this problem that most of us can't solve?
And you're not focusing on
how to get one fan.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Because I'm still don't understand that one. You know what I mean? I'm literally asking.
It's a mystery. It's a big mystery. You have to find a ghost named Moses on a motorbike.
There you go. And I mean, like, not even like fan, like people that like your shit, but I mean like the real fan that pays your stuff. You know who Kevin Kelly is? He's like big techie guy. It doesn't matter.
Another person I don't know.
He's the guy who promoted, or maybe let's say he's the guy who made famous the idea, because who knows who really made what. 100 fans. Give you $100 every year. That's $100K a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, that's what I mean. So like, do any of us even have that fan? You know, the answer is probably more than likely no. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I know I have at least one. There's one dude that I know for sure. I know this sounds so silly.
That's good. That's a start. That's probably one more than me. That's fine.
There's a couple of people, but I know like one dude for sure. Like, every time I release an album, like I just know him by his email address, and he's like right there as soon as the shit's released.
That's badass.
Yeah,
that's
like it's like small and like, I don't even want to say insignificant, because that shit, it's a good fucking feeling. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, there he is
Someone
again.
cares.
Like that wasn't just like a fluke where someone bought the other shit. That guy's there every single time. So yeah, like the key is like expanding that, right?
Yeah.
Um, so there's I feel like there's something that we missed on the publishing thing. Like BMI has BMI Live, right? So you have like your whole publishing thing set up where you can get royalties or whatever. You can also get, if I'm understanding this correctly, my publishing guy, if he's watching this, is gonna fucking kill me if I get this wrong. But you can get paid royalties for your live
Playing
performances.
live, yes.
You know what I mean? So it's like I don't look at it as like who cares if who knows what, but like if you don't know about that shit and you don't have it set up, you're literally leaving money on the table, you know.
Not that this is right or wrong, but I know, like, I remember seeing a guy in Denver, and he was very angry at like people. And this is just him being a bitch, but this is a truth to it though.
Okay.
Like, he was angry at like local artists, and like he almost didn't book local artists who were like signed to ASCAP because they have the same thing. And because he's like, dude, like we don't make that much money to be paying those royalties, you know. So if you're signed and you're trying to enforce that, like they won't even book you, you know. And not that that's right, you know, at all, but at the same time, like it makes sense because they're all just trying to get whatever little money they can get.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's.
And then that person's probably not even a draw like that, you know what I mean?
Right,
like to justify even bringing them in, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
So this is what I'm saying. Like all these things are good, but they're not helping us when we don't really have nothing. And then like I have a friend, right, and he got signed to like an EDM label, you know, and this dude, I remember asking him as he was saying, no, you know what an ASCAP or BMI is, but you know what? He signed to one of the biggest labels in the world, you know what I mean?
And he doesn't know what they are?
No. And at the end, maybe he knows today. I asked him this, I don't know, when it was newer, so maybe like 2 years ago. And at this point, like because we barely even get to talk anymore in person. It's more just text and emails and shit. But like, you know, maybe when I see him in person, I'll ask these things just to understand. I'll try even get him on the show, but I think he's always been very anti DIY. And I'm like, shit, maybe that's what it needs to be to make it. like,
Anti-DIY?
Well, because he always, just like I was saying with that Russ guy, those people have gateway access, you know, so he can speed past all the dumb shit.
Well, like you said, that guy...
And he might be getting screwed in the beginning, but, you know, sooner or later, that'll correct itself when he's ready to do that, you know?
Yeah. Well, in his previous experiences doing shit in a DIY way...
He just always had no interest, because I think he just always had the vision of like, look, man, I'm going to go to there. Like,
make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, the only time he played one of my things, like he has a kitchen set on like my like sit. He played in his kitchen, but I had to bring all the gear. He didn't really have anything, you know what I mean? Like he's only played one show in Austin ever. It was a DJ set, you know, and he got 150, and he was happy and stoked. But I feel like based on the fact he never did it again, he probably had this feeling like, nope, never again, you know, like yeah. So I mean, like I think he just always had this vision, like, look, I'm gonna be like the stars, and like that is not the stars, Abe. You know, like he would never even say these things too, but just the fact that he was just never down for any of these things. I'm like, all right, this is like this is what I'm interpreting that as, you know, like, all right, DIY, these are just kids having fun versus you know, like I want to really do it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there's multiple paths, right, to get to wherever you're trying to get, and what that could be DIY or
so me, I always end
straight to a label or
gravitating towards like the niche guys, and that like you know who Hobson is, the rapper?
Yeah.
So like I remember hearing Hobson talked about, I can't remember in what context. I think he got brought up on that same show with the 4 girls or whatever, you know?
Okay.
And he so some guy came on there and as his he probably did a decent job too, but he covered Hobson. Probably all acoustically, like people like to do acoustic rap songs, you know. It was probably fine, but everybody was like mad at him, and only one person knew who Hobson was, and that guy who probably was black was like, dude, you know, why you even covering Hobson? You should never even mention Hobson, you know, like.
Why were they mad about that?
Because it's just like, it's not what these people hear, you know, like you want to win people, right? When you're in a talent show, right? So it's like, you need to play crap people know, you know, and Hobson is not something people know, you know. And he was then almost making fun of it, because talking to the hip hop community that Hobson's not a thing there either, too. You know, Hobson has a different fan base. It isn't like the normal street black people person. You know, like it's weird. Like, it might even be like a higher white audience even, but it isn't the normal hip hop head. Normal hip hop head is not hear him, but I ended up gravitating towards him because I like the story of the independent. He's not a full DIY guy because he had a taste of a major in the beginning, which I think showed him that he could just do it himself.
Gotcha.
But I'm like, see, like that's what I think. To me, I see DIY like, all right, that's what DIY could be, is someone like Hobson. Because look, all these people don't respect him. He's in his own little niche world. This man's a millionaire though. Multi-millionaire,
Man,
you know what I mean?
I didn't know he was a millionaire.
He's a millionaire, unless he's just a big ass liar. But I like to believe people on that shit because, like, worst case, he's not doing a job. You know, like that is his job. Like worst case,
I didn't know like people were hating on him.
Like, it's not like let me wake up and hate on him, but I mean like the man, like in his own music, he's probably not looked upon, you know, as like good. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
People who hear hip hop, the people who hear Hobson are probably not hearing hip hop and vice versa, is what I'm trying to say. People who hear hip hop probably don't hear Hobson, you know?
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because he found his fan base. And to me, I feel like that's the power of DIY. It's like, all right, I'm going to be different and I can just make everything happen and I don't really need the labels. Will the world know I exist? Probably not. But my people know I exist.
Yeah.
And I got me, and my people really like me. They give me $1 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I was going to say, if you can, if you have that fan base, you know, and you have those people that respect your music and you can make a living doing that, like that's the ultimate goal, right? And
that's why I've never really tried to make it. I never really tried to like send stuff to label everywhere. Maybe I just felt I wasn't good enough or like, but I always kind of glorified those stories. I have 10,000 billion DIY stories, and now like, man, you can just do whatever you want and carve out your niche. Never even being like Drake, just carve out your niche and you'll still have too much money. You know, like, so I'm like, that just seemed more appealing than like, all right, it's 2018, what's hot? Trap music? All right, I better just do that and submit to every label. Go.
Yeah.
You know, like
yeah, I mean, that's not sustainable. And
I mean, and like, there's plenty of examples of that working too. Though,
yeah.
But I think like my friend, it's EDM he does. Like it's very like happy trance music. I don't like it at all. And it's funny. I used to always tell him that he makes a lot of genres, and I was the one I always thought was the worst. And I was like, that's the one that made it for you. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I don't like the whole it not being sustainable thing is like jumping from whatever's hot to whatever's hot. Like and
people like to say that shit too. And maybe it isn't as an artist. But all the pop god producers, more shadow people, right?
Yeah.
Damn, I don't remember his name, but like usually the people that produce a Madonna or a Christina Aguilera, they're all hoppers. All they do is trend hop. People who produce like a Taylor Swift. There's a real famous one, but I
take that back. That shit is sustainable.
It is, but you're probably gonna be like you
have to be able to like flip like that and be good at doing like I wouldn't be good at like just making trance music. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I even know trance music enough to make trance music.
Yeah.
But
I only got like 2 or 3. I got like 3, like what I would say trance or sometimes. I don't really know the genre, but there's like trance, prog house, one of those I call them 4 to the floor songs, and then I'm like, you decide what it is.
Right. There's too many subgenres. Like, I had some people hit me up like years ago on SoundCloud. The shit that I had up there was just like hip hop, you know, and it was this like pop singer and her manager.
Yeah.
And they're like, I mean, they probably, you know, copied and pasted this message to 1,000 people. But yeah, I got this message from like this singer's manager who was like, hey, we like your shit. You know, can you make something in the realm of blah, blah, blah. And this was like way fucking early on. And I was like, sure, you know, like I met up with him, like we had a meeting, they went over the shit that they're doing. They're like kicking off this tour and this is like the kind of realm that she sings in. Here's some tracks, you know, like listen to the stuff and get back to us. Like we'll meet up again and, you know, bring some tracks or whatever. And I made some stuff, but it fucking sucked to me. You know what I mean? It just, when things don't come out naturally, it's not going to end well. You know what I mean? Like you got to find your own lane and stick to that. Like whatever comes out naturally.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Like, so I don't know how people
I try to stick to that, but like, I think even though you always hear do you and all that stuff, I think there's also plenty of examples of people who didn't do them. I'm not saying I can't really tell you because they always say, well, maybe you're not happy when you do that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not them. But I'm telling like it does work that way too. But there's always, it works in all ways, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I just know like, man, I'm stubborn. I like doing me. And that's kind of it.
As long as that's working, man.
I'm going to try this. I had to retire these for a few episodes, but I'm going to try bringing back these things called the life questions.
Oh, shit.
And I didn't even, there was probably some real shit too. There's probably some shit I wanted to ask, but we just tangent so much, so it doesn't matter. But I think we got a lot of cool
You
shit.
fucking tangent, dude. I'm trying to stay on track.
It's true. I like that shit. I like the tangents. All right, here's the simple one. I kind of narrowed it down to less too, because I know sometimes some of these questions are too deep for some people. So I was like, all right, let me chill out. What's your goal in life?
Man. Next question.
No,
I'm kidding. My goal in life, of said life, not have any regrets, right? So like not be on your fucking deathbed thinking like, damn, I wish I would have just like tried to play live. You know,
that was the other thing. And yes, I will cut in between this too.
Do your thing.
Do you play live currently?
Yeah, so like
in this incarnation, not like in the past, in your beat form in STATX.
Yeah. I'm trying to do. Well, I'm going to start doing more of that now that I've released this album and got that shit out of the way. Whether that's through feedback or like other ways, like I'm trying to figure that world out.
Isn't this one though, right? Or is it?
No, that's garbage.
That's the old one.
Throw that
shit
in the trash. Actually,
I dropped it. I mean,
you threw that shit on the ground, dude. That wasn't a drop. No, there's, I think, one track off of that first album that's in my live set, maybe two. I don't know. As much as like I like, the first two albums that I put out, there's like an A and a B side.
Yeah.
A lot of that honestly was like trying to figure out, well, just starting, right? Just fucking doing it, right? Don't wait for perfection. Just let's put the shit out, figure out how to release an album. Yeah. That's kind of how I look at those first two albums, is like figuring out how to do it. There's two tracks I think in my live set from definitely one from the first album, maybe one from the second album. The other stuff is in my live set is a couple of tracks from this album I just released. And then the rest of the live set is all new shit that like no one has ever heard. So
you do play live, like
yes, that's the short answer. Sorry.
Have you played? You've played around here and stuff.
So I've only played one show live.
Yeah. Ever or just around here?
Yeah. And
where was that at? Where?
This place called Vinyl, which like shut the fuck down. Apparently,
you killed it.
I did, dude. Yeah, they were like, "Wow, that was garbage." Shut the doors.
It was so bad.
We don't ever want that guy coming back. We don't want him coming back so bad that we're just going to shut the whole club down. I think I'm still in contact with a guy that I'm friends with a guy that books there. There's something going on with like the management switched, or maybe the owner or something. Sounds like the same thing is happening with Sidewinder. I don't know. Like it's coming back in some other
and I can't say no more than that.
Don't say anymore. Don't say anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe there'll be some other stuff.
I just don't know how much is supposed to be out there or not. So
nothing, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. From the sound of it, that place Vinyl is going to open back up. It's a cool little like hidden spot though. It's almost like
I feel like I've heard of it, but I'm not sure if I've ever been there. So
it's inside another place called Tellers. So it's like you go into this place called Tellers.
Yeah.
And then like if you
do, you gotta wait online again. If you wait online to go, do you have to wait online to go into one and then wait online to go into? That's
it takes horrible. It takes 4 hours to get into Vinyl. Yeah, you gonna, unless you just noticed it or have been there before, it's almost like a little hidden speakeasy kind of place inside of Tellers. There's like a fucking Johnny Cash poster on the wall, and if you go up and there's like a knob next to that shit, I don't know, it's kind of hidden, but you go through there, and then there's like this smaller, like dark, it almost has like a jazz club sort of dark vibe inside. It's pretty cool.
Elephant room.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool spot, man. Hopefully they like open that back up or whatever. That was before I met any, did any of the feedback stuff.
Yeah.
That was just like once again, like trying to figure shit out, probably going like the absolute hardest way of doing it. Because I didn't, I don't know anybody that
Yeah,
does
yeah.
beats live. Like, I don't know, that whole scene like didn't exist to me whenever that show went down.
Now, probably something easy to do, and you'll learn as you meet more people,
Mhm.
and just ask all of them because they all have their own little things. But I think like Ben books like most of the feedback shows.
Mm.
I think. So yeah, you tell him, hey, I want to play.
I guess like
And then like
I should
he'll have
just
you in mind. And
gotcha.
even hit up Bragg Lights too, because she'll do her own booking, and even though she's not always putting on shows, she might have a different set of people that maybe Ben doesn't use, because just
Gotcha.
different circles and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I'm kind
feel
of like
like they primarily Ben, but I feel like they put on probably like the most,
okay.
and just let them know and stuff.
Yeah. I guess I shouldn't assume that that's like a thing if you just show up. I kind of figured if you're there, everyone there is playing live, but
Over
not
the
so
years,
much.
things have changed, like who runs what.
Hmm.
But I think like now Ben's like the event guy, and back in the day, you had to do the flips to play live. And I say
Gotcha.
flips because they were remixes back then, so
Mm.
not so much. But now, I feel like it's not as mandated because I think some people who play live weren't always doing the flips.
Okay.
Um,
Hmm.
I think, but I'd be in and out sometimes.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, some people were like, yeah, like we kind of just mess with the live part and stuff.
Just do live shows.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, just let them know and
Yeah.
stuff. Like how many people even know you that exists? It's just from that one meeting.
Fucking
Because
nobody.
when I told
That's
everybody
who.
who I'm doing, no one knew who the fuck you were, and I was like, well, remember this? Like for Jenna, I had to be like, you remember this guy we met? Like, okay,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah, I
no one knew
mean,
who you were. So like,
let's keep it that way. No,
but no, just keep
show your face and all that stuff. Like keep
that
coming back
too,
around,
definitely, because that's better. But like even like just posting on the group and shit, like, hey
Yeah.
man, that's why I said like message Ben, just like have you in mind, and at least like once you play live, like then people will have some concept of you.
Yeah,
And
for
as
sure.
more things get done, because I guess 30-second was your first one,
Yeah.
so as more get done, they be like, oh, this is that guy.
This guy won't go away.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't go away in the beginning. That's how I kind of forced myself in there.
Yeah. Yeah,
So.
I should do that, man. That's good advice. I just kind of like figured if you're showing up to these things, they all kind of assume that everyone plays live, and I'll just let things ride out. However,
I mean, just for stereotype purposes, anybody paying attention probably does make music. But I mean,
yeah,
just because that's at low tier, at low levels, when it's not isn't when there aren't a lot of people, most people interested are probably the musicians themselves.
yeah, gotcha.
But
If you're out there, I'm down.
yeah,
Like
I mean,
yeah,
I'll
I'm trying
post
to
it.
play
I
a
don't know how many
lot.
people watch this, but I mean, I'll post it in the feedback group too.
Cool, man.
So
Yeah, you asked earlier about how many people I know in feedback. It's like maybe 10 people, if I had to guess. So I don't know how many. There's like 300 something plus people in
that
that
doesn't mean
group.
they're all no. That means they're added to it. But in
Okay.
terms of like the active,
Active artists.
yeah, who knows? It's probably like. Or like just active people. I don't mean active like artists even. Like I mean active. Like it's probably like 10 who are like core members.
Hmm.
And then after that it's like trickle down. Like maybe these 20 perform from time to time and have their little roles.
Gotcha.
And then after that, like it was just people added to the group. Like hey, you should do this. Maybe they did one and never again. Or something like that.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, I'm starting to see, like the pieces come together as far as like what the inner workings, I guess, of
but
feedback,
it's cool. Like I think Devin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Devers Plaxi.
Yeah.
So yeah, like man, he's like so enthused about all this. So like,
Dude, yeah.
I was like, how do you people do this? Not that it's a bad thing, but I'm like, I still haven't beat the New York out of me. How are you happy? About just
I
how are
was
you
gonna
happy?
say, yeah,
Not even,
he's
like, how does one do this?
Yeah. The guy's got a smile on his face like every time I see him.
Which is good. That's a great attitude to have. But I'm
Yeah.
just like not trained to have that. at all. Like, so I'm just like
constant frown.
Yeah. I was like, why are you smiling at me? Like, how do I do that back to you?
He's probably high as fuck.
Yeah,
the whole time. It's got to be.
Oh man, I used to always be accused of being high in high school. I was like, dude, I don't smoke, man. What the fuck's wrong with you? Like, oh wait, you gotta finish the goal in life before I move on. I cut you off at like you were like, I want to do these music things.
No
in
regrets,
lives.
right? That's the main goal. I mean,
Okay.
if you say you want to like get to the end of your life and have no regrets, that kind of covers everything, right? I mean,
okay.
But you know, to not just like throw a blanket statement on the whole thing. Yeah, obviously the music, you know, like I want to be able to continue to get better at that, build like stage presence.
I never got that. I got spoiled because I grew, so I never got to even tell the group thing, and I won't. So you could keep going, but basically, I made that thing go into 4. It had 4 horns in it, trumpet, 2 saxes, and a trombone. Had a drummer and a rapper, so it was 7 of us, including me.
And you doing beats on top of that? Okay.
So I was like, "Fuck, I gotta do. These people got everything covered. This rapper's crazy."
That's another one of your classic like 180s. Like, okay, I'm over this.
They got this. And then like over the years, I got into it on vocals. So I was doing some vocals too. Look, I gotta hit a lot of buttons. I gotta tell people what to do, and I gotta do ad libs. Like,
I'm out of here.
Fuck, you want from me? You want me to dance too? Like shit.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's like shit, man. But so I never really, I was camouflaged, so I didn't really. Yeah, I might not have the stage presence, but there's so much shit going on that like it's less doesn't detract as much.
Yeah. There's something going on at all times with that many people.
Me being up there, just like hitting these buttons, being bored or not bored, but like
Yeah, trying to figure that out as like an electronic artist and still like be doing shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I don't know what that looks like yet for me. Figure it out along the way, but. I mean that'll come with just doing more shows and it's kind of like the next big goal, getting more shows.
Let them know you can make that. You live in you don't live in Austin, but you or maybe you do. I don't know how those things work. So but you're Austin-y.
Yeah,
I can say that.
It's funny that you bring that up. The fucking Austin line is literally like outside this window.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's crazy.
So you do and you don't. I have that too. For like, I do live in San Antonio, but in reality, I'm like, no, I don't. I live here because somebody doesn't want to let this land go, probably for voting purposes.
How often you come to Austin? Like,
no, I think this part we probably talked about, but like I used to. Like I told you, I used to work Monday through Friday and live here with that same dude. Who got signed to that label, and we just had the greatest. It was one of the good times in life. But I mean, like,
cool.
Now it just looks like that because right now I'm in this hot streak of coming out week. I was almost thinking of coming next weekend too, because DreamHack's next weekend, and even though I won't go to DreamHack, I'm like, those people will be in this city. Bet you I could just bother them. I could just like walk up to them and just be awkward on everybody's stream because they're gonna walk around with the stream. Andy will be here. Andy's gonna be here. Greek God's gonna be here. Raj Patel's gonna be here. I'm like, it's like all these people. The guy who does that show, he's gonna be here.
Oh shit!
But that's what I'm saying. Like, but his stuff sucks because he plays a character that doesn't exist because he's not Indian. He plays an Indian man. But when he's in person, he's just himself, and he's just walking around trying to simulate what they do on the show. It doesn't work, and he doesn't practice that. And it's like it's just so the antithesis of what he really does that like. And then I think he takes it personal too. Like we're artists, like, oh, okay, that content sucked, man. I shouldn't do it no more. And like, and then he'll just stop doing it. It's just like, oh my god.
I feel like that's in all like any kind of artistic venture. You're just constantly like questioning yourself. Shit, that happens like probably almost
that's both
daily.
Good, I think it's fine. I just think some people like it prevents them from doing stuff, and I think that part is bad. So
you can't get caught up with that shit.
Don't let it stop you.
That and like creativity comes and goes in waves. I don't know if you ever heard that or felt that even, but
I don't like to believe in that.
You don't have to. That doesn't mean this shit ain't real, dude.
No. Well, I mean, so you're right and wrong, right? Because, all right, so here we go.
Let's hear it.
Nothing exists, right? And
Oh,
so because nothing
shit.
exists,
That
everything
concludes
exists.
this podcast.
Like, nothing exists, so everything exists. So like that can be true to you, and right, and like
Mhm.
power, we give power to words and everything, right?
Mhm.
So you believe that, so it's true because you believe that, so you've created that reality to yourself.
Gotcha.
So
Or
what you're
that.
saying makes
Okay.
sense, but I refuse to believe that. So I
Mhm.
will create another reality whether I can or cannot. And even if I can't, I've still created that other reality regardless.
That's fucking deep.
Like,
I was gonna say that reality created that thought in my mind just by like whether it's creativity or something else causing, you know, other things in life causing your creativity to come and go. But whether you choose to believe that or not believe it, if it happens to you, um, something that I kind of like learned along the way is like don't fight that shit, right? Like if you're not feeling creative and like everything you're making is garbage, switch to something else. Like I have photography or like other shit, you know.
and you're not wrong. Everything you're
Forget
saying
about
is right.
it, but it doesn't exist at the same time.
Because like,
Yeah, it's just like you know, if anyone out there is like feeling that way at some point, you know, go do something else for a little while, and then it'll come back to you, you know. So, yeah.
no, yeah, and everything you're saying is right, but I don't believe in things like writer's block or any of that stuff.
Mm.
Even though they obviously exist, but they're all negative statements, right?
Mm.
It's funny because like I'm probably like very negative just being from New York and just a lot
Fuck
of
everything.
yeah, like and just like a lot of like I don't know, it just does something to you, that place, that I still can't even shake the rust off, even though I'm probably more happier now than ever. Like, but
I feel
it
like
can force like some negative outlooks, you know?
I feel like Washington D.C.
Yeah, no,
is
you the
kind of
same thing.
the
You East
same thing
Coast,
where
yeah,
like
you
people
the
are just
same.
like pissed, you know,
Yeah.
like you feel like I mean, this was my experience where people just seem to be like angry.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Whether it's like driving on the highway or
We're all doing
what, you
shit we
know.
don't want to do.
Yeah,
And
well,
yeah,
that
we're
too.
stuck in traffic. It's just a bunch of dumb shit. So yeah,
Yeah.
like so a lot
Negative
of us are
vibes,
living these
just
lives that we just
yeah.
don't like. So and then a lot of them don't have that goal or something like I'm gonna be this. Like no, it's like they're just stuck there.
Yeah.
It's both their fault and it isn't, because like it's up to them to change it. But most people don't understand that they can change it. You know?
Well, you have to have that thought enter your mind at some
Yeah.
point, like that epiphany of like, oh shit,
Knowledge
like
is
there's
power,
something
and what
else
you
that
don't
I'm
know
yeah.
can't help you because you don't know it. You
Yeah.
know? Like,
And that kind of ties into like ignorance being bliss and all
Yeah.
that shit. But like once you have that epiphany or that thought and that fucking spark goes off where you're just like, damn, my thing that I'm passionate about, whatever it is, you know, like painting or music, whatever. I don't know. Like, I don't know where the fuck I was going with that. But like you said something that made me think about like, you know, like there's people that just kind of go through the world that don't even ever have those thoughts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like once you do have it, you're like on a whole different trajectory where like you're on this mission in life,
Yeah.
you know? And you know, I hope like everybody has that at some point. Where you're
And I
like,
bet you there's some people who don't get that mission. I bet you they're still happy.
yeah,
That's fine too.
yeah.
So I know
That
some
is
people
fine.
feel like they're missing stuff, but some people aren't.
That's totally fine. But
Yeah.
if you have that feeling where like there's something that you're passionate about and you don't ever take one step in that direction to pursue it, you know, like that, I don't know. That's the whole like uh deathbed shit, you know, like, oh, why didn't I take that chance or like try to build that company, or even if it failed, fuck it. Like the mission or like the path of trying to get from point A to point B. There's something within that that's just at least you're trying.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Pops once said, Pops is a guy in Cage, the Netflix show. He was
Never seen it.
Yeah, that's fine. But he
I got a
always
long
said,
laundry list of shit to.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Watching stuff is bad because it's time taken away from something you could be doing.
Yeah,
Be
true.
glad you haven't seen it. But I mean, Pop said pretty much he's telling this guy, the actual guy Cage, he's being a bitch. He just doesn't want. He's just being. That's the problem with a lot of shows. They're like, oh, woe is me, I have powers. You know, like,
Yeah.
Unlike they don't understand. Their own same company. The movies are the opposite. Like, oh, I have powers. I better do some shit. All the Netflix shows are like life's hard. I got powers. I don't want to do it. I was like, what's 12 episodes of this whiny ass shit?
Yeah.
But like, Pops is basically just telling him like, all you got just move forward, dude. That's all you gotta do is move forward.
Yeah.
Then they shoot him. But I mean, like spoilers. Like,
drastic turn of events.
Yeah, but I mean, like, but he had the right idea. He's just like, dude, it doesn't matter really what you do. You just gotta move forward.
Yeah,
because it'll take you somewhere, and if that sucks, just keep moving. Because then you'll get to it eventually, even if it takes way too long. You know.
Yeah, to tie that whole like moving forward thing in with taking that first step towards like, you know, whatever your passion is or whatever you want to do in life. There's so many like roadblocks there, man. Even just mentally, things that are gonna like try to trip you up or whatever. Where I don't know. I think about this all the time. Where if you have some dream or goal that's damn near impossible to achieve, right? You have to kind of like, I mean, you don't have to, but I will analyze the situation like you have this mountain to climb and you just have to be like, fuck it, take this first step. Don't worry about like the top of the mountain right now. Just like start walking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And keep pushing, you know.
Shit looks too big. That's why I just keep doing shit.
And just give up right away. Like,
I don't know how to make Disney, but I know how to make shit. So I make shit.
Yeah. Make your own Disney, whatever that is, you know.
Yeah.
Do it the way that you want to.
Yeah, I think somewhere there's a goal in life answering that. So I'm gonna ask one of these other ones. What do you think that people think you're crazy for believing? Well, what's something you believe in? I should rewrite this. What's something you believe in that people think you're crazy for believing?
Okay. It kind of ties into that first album a little bit. I could talk about the shit I'm about to talk about for like hours. Not gonna do that.
Normally I like doing that, but I'm trying to meet one other person. Right?
No, yeah. And let's wrap it up. No,
because I've done that, but the brainwave one was like 3 hours and 30 minutes.
We gotta top that, dude.
We can,
3 hours and 32.
But we just not do it now, though.
I'm kidding. It's I'll try to jump right into it, dude.
Because I feel like me and you probably can go. I noticed that right away last week.
That was like 45 minutes.
It's just easy.
Yeah.
So we probably can do multiples of these.
People like this is gonna. Everyone's gonna fucking hate this. People don't like math. I don't fucking like math either. But I find this really interesting. And people have gotten upset whenever I bring this up. So I just like, after being like, hey, what do you fucking think about this, to a few people that are just like, that shit's stupid, then I stop talking about it. But I find this interesting, which is this, I should send you a link to this thing. It's called like, it's like ancient knowledge type of shit, right? I don't even know where to start. The fucking number 9, right?
Oh.
Like, do you know anything about it? Okay.
I'm done. Educate me.
Okay. You got a calculator?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can't fuck this whole story up real quick. What, you don't even need to calculate for all this shit. What's 2 plus 7? Like, okay, let's take the number 27.
Yeah.
Right? 2 plus 7 is 9.
Yeah.
Right? There's all these like things that like lead to the fucking number 9. 9 times 9, 81, right?
Yeah.
Right? 8 plus 1 is 9. So you can take like the number 9 and like multiply it like a shitload of different ways with all these numbers, and it always like deduces back to number 9.
Never forget where you come from.
Yeah. So like to not drag that shit out any longer, do your own math and shit. I'll send you a link to it, but you can, like I said, you can. I'm trying to think of other examples. There's all this other shit in the universe that like the average baby's in the mother's womb for 9 months, except for like the elephant, I think, which holds its baby for 18 months. But then 1 plus 8 is 9. And you'll see that shit everywhere, dude. That video, I'll send it to you. It breaks down all kinds of shit.
Never forget. 9 we trust.
Like there's 9 planets in the solar system.
7-11, 7-1-1.
Oh shit. I was gonna say the whole like 9 planets in the solar system thing, which is why Pluto will always be a planet, because it makes 9. There's a bunch of shit like that. Like that video would probably blow your mind, but
so that's like
if you're sitting around, if you're sitting around at a bar hanging out with friends and you start bringing up math,
they're like, oh, he smoked again before he came.
Get this guy out of here. But yeah, like shortly after I saw that video, my mind was just blown by that shit. And I was like, you hang out with your friends and like, dude, check this out. What the fuck do you think? But, yeah. Anyway,
Right,
that answers that question. What else you got? Yeah.
Know what the next album's gonna be about.
No, I threw all that shit
You
into
did 40-32. I'm like, he gotta have a 9 in him.
Yeah.
All right, 3 things you're thankful for in this life.
Oh man, that's a good one. For sure, my wife, stepkids. I got 3 stepkids, by the way.
Think they ever gonna see you play live?
I hope so. Yeah, that'd be great. Let's see. Can we group that together as one?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's your question, man.
That's family, right?
Yeah,
that. Like, I just like people in my life like are awesome because like I just don't let
not awesome in.
I don't let not awesome in. That's a very nice way of putting it. You got to shed the not awesome, man. Like if people are not awesome, you got to get rid of them.
Slowly, I've started to do that too, man.
Yeah,
and it's sad. I don't think he watched these, and if he does, like I've lost friends because I'm too real, unfortunately.
Damn.
Yeah, like it's a recent one I won't even go into right now, just because I don't want it to go forever. But the trumpet player was one too, like that with perfect pitch, and it was just always just a negative vibe, dude. And it was just like sometimes, like, do you even like this? Do you even like what we're doing?
I mean, I don't know that person, but like if you have someone like that in your life, like. Take that worst friend, you know what I mean?
It's
and like
always why everything's bad, and it was just like, dude, I have that enough for me. I don't need you doing that to me.
Negativity, like, it spreads like fucking cancer.
Yeah.
Take your
and there's something to it because that frames our mind, and now that frames our life by framing our mind in that way,
Yeah, and people get stuck in that shit, man.
Yeah,
it's hard to.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't like save people that are.
They gotta
like
save
that
themselves.
Yeah, they got to figure it out on their own. Little life pro tip though: take the shittiest friend. I mean, it sucks to say, but like replace them with someone awesome, and like you should, in theory, your life would like improve a shitload just by doing that one time. Yeah, get rid of those people. So I'm lucky to have awesome family and friends and stuff like that. Second thing, good health, I guess. Like, I guess that's a good thing to be thankful for, right?
Yeah,
like, shit could be worse. Like,
nothing else works if you don't work.
Yeah, it's true. Like, if I was like missing a limb or something, everything I'm trying to do would just be that much more difficult,
Yeah.
What's a third?
Damn, that's rare for the musician to not mention music.
I mean,
like, ain't that thankful?
No, dude. Like,
it drives me crazy. I don't need it.
Let's not get shit twisted. There's probably not 5 minutes that goes by any day where I don't think about what I'm trying to do with music.
But like, it can't get on this list. I ain't thankful.
Yeah, no, like. But I mean, yeah, like
you just literally saying all these things, but you won't put it on the list
because when it comes down to it, like. I'm not going to choose music over my family.
I didn't say put them in order, but I mean, you can still be thankful. I'm just saying for it.
That's what I'm going. I'm going by order, FYI. Okay. Like, and
so if it doesn't make the top 3, then what is the third thing then?
I haven't not said music.
Okay.
But you like I gotta fucking stretch this out and make it. I gotta like make it all suspenseful. No, I feel like I had to like explain all of that shit.
For sure.
Music we'll make music number 3. How about that?
Where you see yourself 3 years in the future?
Playing a lot more shows for sure. Having a lot more like-minded friends, in like the music community. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, at least that,
At least that.
Yeah.
What is the perfect day?
The perfect day. Fucking having a podcast with you, dude.
Shout out to me. Let's go.
Get up early in the morning. Early in the fucking morning, because that's when shit gets done. For me, at least.
Is that like a beat making time for you? I'm just curious, or no? Or does that happen?
Beat making time is from like music time. Period is from like 9 a.m. to about 3 p.m. usually.
It's probably like when none of us do our beats.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm like. Fucking backwards from everybody.
But continue, yeah. Get up in the morning.
Early in the morning, cup of coffee, some breakfast. There would definitely be some I would say music. Yeah, making some music somewhere
Yeah.
during the day, hanging out with family, some friends. I mean, are we trying to like the ultimate fucking day?
Yeah,
There's
that's your
gonna
perfect
there's gonna be
day.
like a
Yeah, yeah,
barbecue
yeah.
and then a show, and then
You
after
can
the
make the
show,
show the barbecue shit.
could do the we could yeah
Like,
throw some brisket up on stage. I don't
yeah,
know.
man.
Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. You know
Alright.
what I mean? And then
Alright.
I don't know if I could top that. That's good enough for now, though.
Here's is so I got rid. There used to be way more, but I got rid of some of them because I'm like, some of them maybe were probing into areas that I'm like, I know some people didn't want to go to, so
Mm,
they're all like not easy, but they're all like positive now.
gotcha.
Here's one. This is a beta test though to see if I'm still
Mm,
debating whether to get rid of this one.
okay.
So this one's called I Like, I Wish, I Wonder, right?
Mm.
So you like that you did, you wish that you done. What's the last one?
You,
And I
you're,
wonder
you
what
got
would
this
have
shit in front
happened
of you
if.
and you're forgetting. I'm going to forget all
Because
that.
I'm doing this, this is totally different than what I used to do it. This is the first time I do it like this. Like I said, I
Okay.
got rid of stuff, so it was a different order and all this.
Okay.
But I like, I wish, I wonder, and I can remind you what those are. But I like that I did. I wish I had done. I wonder what would happen if. But just for like your last year,
Oh,
not for your life,
shit.
just last year.
Just changed all of my answers.
Yeah,
I like, okay, like a year going back a
yeah,
year
yeah.
from
Going
today.
back, it's like a self check.
Give me the three again.
I like
Sorry.
that. I just
I
start
like,
with that one.
okay, I
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, let's break it down for my
Yeah.
dumbass. I like that, and I hope I'm not wasting this for some shit that could happen
Don't worry,
in the next
hey,
two.
man.
I
Yeah.
like that I got out and played that first show.
So that was just a year ago.
Yeah, September of 2017.
Never forget.
And yeah,
Wait.
so many things to not forget. Yeah, I don't feel like I have to like elaborate on that too much, but it was a big step for me personally. You know, there's just like a moment in life where it was like, um, I had I put myself in a position where I had no excuses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like, okay, I was fucking around with Reason,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well, I can't take Reason up on stage and like play shit live in a cool way.
Bet you some weird
Back-
way. There's always a weird way.
Back then, at least. I transitioned to Ableton because like I could take that shit to the stage and put together like the live set. You know, all of the shit that needed to be checked off to play a live show, except for me like hitting up venues,
Yeah.
was done. You know what I mean? So it was like, now what? You know what I mean? So I'm glad that I did that, basically.
Got you. I wish I had done.
That shit about 15 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty solid on that answer.
That's funny.
There's been a lot learned there, but yeah.
I wonder what would have happened if. You probably just continue that right there.
Yeah, I would. I wonder what would have happened if I would have done that 15 years ago. But you know, I wouldn't exchange like the knowledge.
Oh yeah,
And like,
because all these things make us.
yeah, dude. Like, I wouldn't necessarily change the way that things have.
All these
turned
things
out.
make us, and we can all just change it right now. So
Yeah.
you can even. This is some mental shit because again, like the mind is for us to be framed, and I'm gonna explain this poorly. But there's this whole idea that you can change the past just by reframing the story. Because a lot of us frame the story. A lot of us frame these stories as victims. But if you frame these things as the defining moment, right? Let's take up superhero, right? Let's take Batman. Superman was bad, but Batman, it's not as great because it's just too godlike. But right, Batman, fucking horrible. Like parents die in front of him. You know, fuck wants that, right?
Yeah.
To the point that like he just can never get over it and does what he does, right? Vigilanteism. But that's also a defining moment because by him doing that, he becomes what he becomes, right? The symbol of hope and savior to who knows how many, oh, it's fake, but who knows how many people in that world, you know, who that event may have happened to them, you know? So there's a way of like just embracing what might be horrific moments in our lives as defining moments to create whatever we become, you know?
Gotcha. Don't let that moment define you.
Because we all tell our own narratives. And the most important person we forget to tell it to is ourselves. So if we tell a shitty narrative to ourselves, then why won't we be negative, shitty people? Because
Yeah.
so,
Fuck that.
and I'm still working on all this shit for me, you know, but if we tell the superhero story for ourselves, you know, then like why the fuck wouldn't you be happy, ready to do your shit and help people along the way?
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like that's a big thing too, man. Like trying to help people, you know, like ironically, the photography stuff has been like
That helps a lot of people, yeah,
a
because
weird
everybody wants
gateway
media.
to that, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's in a nice way. I don't do shit to help people.
Fuck
But I mean,
everybody.
no, I don't even mean like I don't help people. But what I mean by that is like all this stuff. I don't do it to help no one, but I know it does, and I know like, and I'm not bad at that. You know, I just really like doing this shit. But like I know like
Well,
some people,
it's like you're doing it for yourself, but at the same time, it does help other people.
that's great.
You know?
I'm not like against that. Like, but I mean, like, but I'm just saying like that's just a nice byproduct. I just really like. I get to meet. We would never hung out if I get to meet new people. I get to meet some people that I should have never spent time with. Like I got to meet Diego Bernal. He's like a state representative. I only know him though because he happens to make beats too.
What?
Yeah,
that's cool, man.
Yeah, you can check. It's like episode in the 40s or something. But yeah, I'm like, all right.
You got
I know you're talking about this politics. Oh, he does, but I think he does.
Cool.
Even if he don't, he's on a label and stuff. So. His stuff sounds like legit, but he has a very Tejano, like he's Mexican, so he has all the beats are cultural. You know what I mean?
I gotcha. That's
but
cool.
Yeah, like that guy spent an hour, yo. Like he literally like put time in his schedule to talk to me. Like,
that's awesome.
So man. I'm like, that's like, yeah, like that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like,
that's cool, man.
So like all these cool things, and then like other people see it too, and they like it. Not a lot of people yet, but I mean people see it, and but yeah, like and artists get to use it for whatever you know they want to use it for. And the same thing with the concerts. Like I don't know why I like doing that shit. I just do, you know. Like I don't know why I like filming.
You should figure that out. Man. There's something there.
There must be something. I know the original intentions for all these, but I don't think they ever become the reason why I keep doing it. Original intention for everything I do that isn't music is like. I wanted to do it for me. I probably didn't want to pay someone, and I just really wanted to do it for me. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of like the whole getting into photography thing for me was like I couldn't afford to pay somebody to make music videos.
Yeah.
Every time I wanted one.
You got music videos? That's the one thing I haven't done for me or anyone.
I have one. This is like legit music videos, not just me setting up a camera and like recording my shit.
Those can be legit too, man. There's a lot of rappers.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff. A lot of that stuff that I have is just like me really trying to figure out cameras, you know. But I have one legit music video out there now that I just like met this guy online who's like in the UK. Sent him the track, gave him like
power of the internet.
Yeah, dude. Gave him a very general theme, and then like.
Run with it.
He just sent back some awesome shit. There's another music video, which is I'm gonna release that this week. It's for this album.
Yeah.
Which would be the first one that I guess it's weird calling it like a legit music video, but that's what it fucking is. First music video that I've made. I wish I had my new camera when I made that shit, but it turned out cool, I guess, for what it is. But I took like film photos around Austin, like 35 millimeter film photos, and animated those shits. Like it'd be like a street. You'll see it at some point, dude. But it's like a photo of like an alleyway or like a street or something. And then I green screened myself like performing shit.
Oh, shit.
And then like green screen that into the.
You're doing some real shit here, yeah.
I'm trying, dude. That'll be out sometime this week.
Damn, so it's coming soon too. That's what's up.
Yeah.
It'll probably be out before this one's out, but you never know.
Yeah. I was planning on Wednesday. There's nothing really like set in stone. I just know I wanted to wait a little while, like after the album release.
Okay. To
kind of like, I don't know, breathe life into the release a little longer, so to speak.
Yeah.
But yeah.
See, so there's a thing that you said, right? And all that stuff is logical, especially from a real business point. But I'm always like, man, at our level, does that really mean anything?
Probably not. Probably fucking not.
And me, because I'm so anti it from doing it too much. I think what killed me from a lot of these things was not this. Is that like, there was a point where I was like, man, I think I'm getting real good at doing the social media part of this. Not getting the hits part, but like just creating content for it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I never wanted to be that. If someone wants to pay me, I'll totally do it. But I'm like, I want to do this. So now the social stuff for this, I try to put the least amount of effort possible because that's the shit. I hate it. Just that's where the hate comes from. It's like I shouldn't be spending even time on this part. This is not even the thing. These are just cuts and clips. And I know this is important, but I'm like, no, I just don't want to do it. I don't care.
The whole like, is it important to do, like be logical and like fucking overthink shit, like, oh, well, should I wait 6 days after the release to do it? Like I don't get that crazy with it, but is it important or not? Like, I don't know. So like that's a lesson that I'll learn by doing this. Like, okay, this is what people recommend doing. Like, release here, like release an album this week, wait a week or 2 weeks, whatever it is, release the video, and then I'll like renew interest in the album. That's like the theory, right? Or like the strategy.
But I think those are just rules that work when we have fans.
No, you might be right. That's also a way to like bring more fans in. Like if I dump every piece of content and the album all in one day and just shit on everyone's feed, that's going to be annoying.
So I think that's a horrible thing to think too, because it's never enough is one. And two, people check it at different times of the day, especially with algorithms changing, they'll get different things.
Right. That whole algorithm shit is annoying. We talked about that a little bit.
And then you're talking about like getting the album important. Maybe the album isn't important, but you getting rid of everything so you can move on to the next thing. So it's not about getting the album, it's about getting you.
Right.
And then once they get to you, maybe you can slow it down, but no one knows you yet.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know nothing. It's not like I'm famous, but these are just the things. This is like my take on all that,
Yeah. So man, there's like 10 things I could touch on right there. Fuck. The whole so like I'll learn a lesson from like following what people and who are these people, but like people recommending, when to release things, right? Like people have done it before. Here's the best strategy, whatever. And then like, okay, let's see if that works. Because what I did before, like I didn't put anywhere near that much effort into it. Let's try this and make some other content for it. You understand social media a little better this time around. Pace shit out. And like, if none of that works, then like, you're right. I might just be doing what you said just now next time. Like I'll just dump all the shit at once. Who cares? Why am I going to waste all my time on that? But it's about trying to figure out what works best or like tweaking things here and there.
None of that's wrong. I just don't want to learn those things anymore.
I can sympathize with that, man. It's a lot of work. Like,
and it's like all those things do work, and there's plenty of examples of people making money with it. But I mean, it's just like I just want to be good at things I like now. This is dumb. I'm tired of getting better at something that is not even helping me right now, even though it's supposed to. But like it's just dumb.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Like again, every journey is different. So yeah, you might find that shit works. You never know.
Well, I've noticed with like I don't know, going back to the whole algorithm thing being annoying. I hate that we had to think so much about social media if you're like trying to actively grow an audience. Like you got to know about algorithms and that shit changes every year. And like
but it's
you got to become a social media.
Maybe there's something else there.
Maybe, but it seems like you have to become like a social media expert almost. There's so many levels to that, man. Just like hashtagging shit, like it's annoying, right? But like, what am I doing this for? I'm trying to grow an audience, right? So like, yeah, it's annoying, but if I do it, in theory, you would like gain more followers or whatever, grow your audience slowly. And I mean, if that's what you're trying to do to grow that fan base, then like that's what you got to do. Like I don't know, some people just post shit and it's like whatever, but I just look at it like if I'm going to post something and I'm trying to grow a fan base, I'm going to try whatever strategy it is. Now I'm not talking about buying followers and shit, fuck that, but like to grow like a real legit audience, fan base or whatever that likes your stuff. So there's that aspect. And then pacing your stuff out. I feel like if I have 10 pieces of content, right, for an album release, if I put all 10 of that shit up, or if I got 20 pieces, whatever, If I dump all that shit at one time, I feel like everybody would just be like, "Fuck this guy," and like unfollow because that you're just kind of taking over their feed. You know, that's annoying. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Right now, I'm just like pacing that shit out, and then like the next phase of that is that music video. So yeah.
I'll be finding a way, man. I just don't even. That war is not for me.
Yeah, it's not always the funnest.
So that's it. Is the easy question. Where can they find you online? Like,
so yeah, statsmusic.com, STATX music.com, and pretty much at STATX Music everywhere. Instagram, Twitter.
I've been bad about that. Still never made me a website. I think that would have helped me, but I just won't.
It's not too late, man. It's not too late.
Still won't do it.
It's so easy now.
I know. Oh, it's super easy.
Squarespace.com. Shout out
and
to
there's a bunch of fake Squarespaces. Like that.
Bunch of what?
Fake Squarespaces.
Oh,
Rivals,
really?
you know?
Yeah, I don't
the
know.
name won't come to me, but there's another one a lot of people like to use that is Squarespace, but just not Squarespace.
Like Weebly, I think is
that one. Yeah.
I don't know why I went with Squarespace, but I'm locked in.
That was definitely the first one who made whether it was really the first one, but they made their presence known marketing wise. Like, hey, we can do this easy. So
gotcha. Yeah. I mean, I don't know shit about building a website, and I built that.
Everybody can do it. How much to suck for web designers, you know? like,
yeah, man. Because back in the day, you'd have to know how to code all kinds of shit, and now you just kind of drag and drop. So.
Yeah, but it's kind of the way it should be, though.
I agree. I'm glad that we're at that point now.
So STATX, everything.
At STATX Music.
Okay.
Yeah.
STATX Music. You need that extra.
Yeah. If you just look up STATX, you're gonna find like a fucking. There's this thing that like it's like a fire extinguisher, but it's like a bomb or some shit. Like
you album cover, cross promotional sponsorship deal in the future,
or maybe a lawsuit. Stop using our name.
No, reach out to them is what I'm saying.
I should do a little
like, promo.
Yeah, Make a music video blowing up all your fucking things, whatever they are.
If you're giving them for free, I'll use them. like in this video,
you might be onto something there.
Why not? Yeah. You never know. Yeah, my thing isn't a product at all, so I can't do that.
Can you get sponsors for?
No, of course I can. I just mean my name isn't a product, so I can't let me go contact the name of my product.
Gotcha.
All right, dude. Last words.
Man, thanks for coming over and doing this, man. It's really awesome.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, man. Yeah. We done. Bake that chicken, smoke that turkey. Boosh.